I'm in the bathroom on my cell phone.
Oh yeah, YouTube muted.
All right, we got used and abused. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Thomas. Hi, on night. I know what Therium's doing. Although it's, I don't know, in UK it's probably the 22nd, but maybe 2 days ago,
Whoop whoop.
420. We know what you were doing.
Therion's the bomb. Therion's the bomb.
The
Oh
bomb.
man, Larry. Dream, dream, dream.
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 Wherever I'm with you. Whenever I want you.
I like that
Yeah,
song.
All I have to do is dream.
there you go. Look at
Oh, you got a pretty voice there.
Honey can
I
sing.
got a
know, right?
shitty voice.
No,
I
you
am
don't.
tone deaf. I'm tone deaf. I'm tone deaf.
You are not tone deaf.
I really am.
So you're faking it. That's what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
she might be, she's telling the truth. She's tone deaf. She can't even hear herself sing good. That's tone deaf,
yeah.
Oh, really? Trippy. Huh.
right? So I guess we just kind of came up with this subject like actually about 33 and a half seconds ago.
Or you could have started out by saying, I came up with this in a dream. Right? But that wouldn't be true. But it's kind of cool though, right? Or maybe, how about this? Maybe they are all dreaming right now.
Maybe
What about
you're not
dream
even
a
awake.
little dream of me?
Right?
Maybe we're all in a dream.
Dream a little dream of me.
So,
Or maybe you're dreaming us. We're not real. And we're all part of your dream, honey. Ann.
Maybe we're
Well, I think
all
if we
part
were,
of
we'd
somebody
probably be in the
else's
bathtub
big
with her right
dream.
now. I don't know. I think if we were, Mike, we'd be in the bathtub with her.
Maybe that's why our construct is falling apart as we speak.
Maybe.
Maybe somebody else's dream is breaking down.
Who's
I don't
dreaming
know.
is dreaming?
That's true. Like maybe the veil is a dream coming down or something.
Right. The big kahuna.
Oh, wait. What's the thing you said? Like caca something? What was that again? About the peanut in Spanish? How do you say that again?
Cacahuate.
Cacahuate, kahuna. Right?
The big kahuna cacahuate.
Big kahuna, cacahuate.
I gotta tell you,
Cacahuate. Right?
every
like
time I hear that, I think of the Gilligan's Island episode when they came in and they were like, Gilligan saved the girl from drowning and she became his like servant. And then the other people came on. They were like, you know, that was his guy, and that was like a fight to the death. And they were like, "Kukawanga, kukawanga."
Right?
And of course, the professor knew exactly what they were saying. Like, no, I studied this in college.
He knows everything.
I know
The professor knows. Somewhere 5 minutes away, the professor is engaging in science experiments. He's going to save us all. That was so sad that they escaped off the island and they wrecked back.
Right. Well, doesn't that go right to
Oh.
Lost? The show Lost? Or was it kind of like?
Oh, you know what? How about this? Maybe we should do an episode where we're all like in character as Gilligan's Island.
Long as I don't gotta be Ginger, because I don't want to be no dude acting like a chick.
Right? You can be Mary Ann. Well, you are, right? So Honey Ann will be Mary Ann. So that's not good, right?
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Like I said, long as I don't gotta be Ginger, because Ginger was really a dude.
Yeah, you know what? I did actually after I watched that. They had it on my TV. I don't have TV, but I have like the HD antenna.
Mm-hmm.
I was seeing if it worked, and I came across like channel 3.2, which is like I don't know what that is, but it was like Gilligan's Island marathon, and I loved Gilligan's Island growing up.
I do too.
And I'm sitting there watching, and of course I'm always in like of Marianne. I never And believe me, I love auburn-haired women. But Marianne, I love the ponytails with her. Marianne's always been like, I
So
really like
wholesome.
watching it. Like now I remember why I watched this show because
Hmm.
of Marianne. And so I went to work the next day, and I was asking all the guys, Marianne or Ginger, right? Okay, there was not one guy that said Ginger. It was all Marianne.
Marianne, yeah, Marianne for sure.
Yeah.
I know
Ginger's so
exactly.
fake.
Yeah, I don't know what is. Why is I know what you mean about the red hair. That can be hot for sure, right?
Yeah,
But
but
like,
she was so fake.
I don't know something about Marianne. It's not that she's more approachable. It's just Marianne for sure.
Ginger, and I brought it up to the point where Ginger, it's not that she was the good look or anything. It's just she's high maintenance. I like
She's
that.
fake.
I like Marianne, where it's like put the hair in the ponytail or the pigtails, right? Or it's just like let's go and have fun. Where Ginger's like, I got to get my high heels.
I need
on.
5 hours to get ready.
You know what? I'm already going to bed. Like I've been waiting too long.
You know what else I used to love to watch? 1 banana, 2 banana, 3 banana, 4.
Oh my god, I love the
Banana splits. La,
Oh, yeah.
la, 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 la.
La,
I love to watch Witchy Poo. My favorite one was Witchy Poo. I love that.
That's a different show. That right?
No
That's
idea what
like you're talking about Puffin stuff.
Banana Splits. HR Puffin stuff.
HR
Yep.
Puffin, but the banana splits. You know what? The banana splits remind me of the Monkees, right? Or they had that pole they slide down and all that. Or no way, they didn't live like. But they all it looked like they had fun, like the Beatles, like they're all living together or something.
Hey, we're the monkeys.
Right?
Yep.
That's how I want to live with like all this crazy stuff going on around and weird rooms that have beds built into the floor. You want to say?
I have stairs to nowhere, Mike.
Oh, like the Winchester house, like that kind of.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Mike, have you been there? I know you were here in California.
Oh yeah, I've been in the Winchester house. Yeah, lots of times.
Isn't that great? Yeah. So I didn't live too far away from that at all. Growing up, I was born in Santa Clara, and
I was born in Orange County, Orange.
But yeah, so we went to that Winchester's house. Crazy. I mean, there's so many stairs,
doors to nowhere. And
so I'm so confused, honey. How do you have stairs in a 1-story to nothing? Help me.
Okay, because my house burned down, so we did a garage conversion, and we're planning on building an upstairs. So in order for my husband to add on to make the bedroom and my closet, we had to have the stairs to make the closet. So he went on ahead and made the stairs, and they stop at the roof.
So I hate to read into this, but your husband was going to make a bedroom for you.
Okay. We lived in the
stairs up to a roof.
Uh-huh.
So basically, what he's saying is like your bedroom's on the roof, girl.
No. Well, see, it's my 2-car garage that, and it's a big space. I'll have to show y'all sometime. I designed it myself. It's a big old bathroom, a big kitchen, big living room, and then the little carport that was outside of the garage. He added the bedroom on out there, but with the design that I made, we had to have the stairs, for my closet to be designed. And I have a huge closet. So, and we're planning on building an upstairs. That's going to be my art room. I mean, it's going to be all glass. It's going to be like all glass all the way around.
Nice. Right on.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. And then I've got sky roofs, skylights and all that crap too. But anyway,
cool. That's awesome.
But he had to build the stairs, they had to be there in order for everything else to function. So yeah, I've got stairs to nowhere. I told him, why don't you just build me one of them flaps, one of them doors that flap open, then I can just go suntan on the roof.
Oh, that's cool. Right on.
Yeah, he won't do it though, so whatever. He sucks.
Oh, my house is interesting too, because like it's one of those. I rent. I don't own it, but like, it's like in this area where it was probably built in the 50s or something, and like the houses here were like smaller for back then, and what people do is they build on to the back of the house where it wasn't designed that way, and
Mhm.
so there's a window what would have been the backyard, but there's no glass in it because they built on right there, and so there's like I have this back room which was like a backyard where it's like it lowers into like a den, so it's like a split level room. It's a room, but it has a lower and an upper part of it, which I think is awesome because it's sort of like the monkeys or something. And then like into that room, if there's like a little room, like a lot, like you guys could use an office or something, where it would have been like looking in the backyard. So there's like this big window to a room that goes through that other room that has an upper and lower level to it, and then that goes into the kitchen. So I was thinking, well, wouldn't it be cool if I had like like a train or something that would like go through all the room, right?
Right. My den in my kitchen had a window like that too, because it was added on the house that burned down, and I put a big old huge fish tank in it.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be cool. Actually, that
Yeah.
would be kind of neat too. Like
Uh-huh.
you know what would be cool too? Now I'm not thinking about it. I would like to live like this, like like
Train.
one of the, like some rich dude like in Malibu or something, and like where you have like a pool that goes where you can see people swimming in a certain room, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then then you go out on the den, you look at the Hollywood Hills, and then they like have like a like the TV comes out or something, or fireplace out of the backyard, right?
Yeah.
All like
kind of like the grotto at the Playboy Mansion. That was cool.
Yeah, something like that. With like
I saw one place that was like amazed me was so they had their bed and in the wall behind the bed, the whole wall was a fish tank, right?
Uh-huh.
And then they had their pool that actually came up to the bedroom.
Wow.
Like a gradual step, not like stairs, but like a just gradual
Incline.
down that in the house that that you could walk into from the bedroom and then go underneath a little like the wall where it ended, and then outside into the pool. Like you could walk like the
Lifestyles
pool
of the rich and
into the
famous.
bedroom. Crazy,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
right? I mean, I was just like, wow, you just wake up and like there's the pool in your bedroom. You're like, yeah, I'm going in it.
Well, my last house I lived in, I had those snap pools, the ones that you can get at Walmart for like $400. My husband dug me a hole and we buried that snap pool in the ground. It was buried. It was underground. But I found that I found that the water turned green really, really quick. It was a bitch to keep clean.
Oh, that's like.
And
go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say my ducks wouldn't stay out of it. It was hard. It was hard to keep the ducks out of it. Okay, go ahead.
Now I'm thinking about something else. I used to live in a house where like there was a goldfish pond like built in out of stone and stuff in the backyard, and I didn't have to feed them or nothing. They were like they had like algae would grow and they just eat the algae.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome.
My husband made me one of those when I was pregnant with my daughter back in 1992, 91. Yeah, he built me a goldfish pond. We had huge fish that we had actually caught at the lake, but they were goldfish.
Oh, like cod or something.
They were goldfish.
Like a big. Yeah, this was trippy. They get big too. I mean, if they have the chance.
Yeah, but they're expensive. I mean,
I had 200-gallon fish tanks. One of them was full of koi fish. I mean, koi fish that were the size of cats. Wow. Huge. They burn up in the fire. Yeah.
That's why I like fish like that when they take care of themselves. But you're talking like with a fish in the like the fish thing, the tank. Those things take a lot of maintenance, man. That's the part I don't like about fish is that you have to like clean the thing.
Really? My tanks don't. No, I have a tank. I've always had fish tanks. Right now, I have one that's a 50-gallon, and I have cichlids in it. I only have to change the water like once a year.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh,
yeah, I keep an algae eater in there, a Procosimus, and he keeps the tank clean.
Oh, right on. So like a fish does it. Like it's naturally cleaning up like a sucker fish or something.
Yeah, he's an algae eater.
Right on.
Yeah. But I mean, I have to constantly add fresh water to it, But it's only about once a year that I have to take about 3/4 of the water out because it turns yellow from the urine.
Oh man, I had to before. It was a pain. Like I had to constantly clean the thing. Maybe I didn't have a good enough filter or something.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I've got about 20 cichlids in mine.
Yeah. Using Tammy said she wanted a bar made around a fish tank. You know, I like those
That would be cool.
bars that you have in your pool, right? Where
Yeah,
like, you go
I've
in
seen
your
those.
pool and you sit there in the with the seats and everything. That's pretty cool too.
Hey,
Yeah.
have you guys ever seen that cartoon, the first one, the Incredibles? Or maybe it's the second one, second Incredibles, I think it is.
I think I have.
You know that big, like, slick house they live in, right?
Yeah,
That's what I want, something like that.
yeah.
And all like 60s cool style, like retro, but it
Yeah.
has all this cool things that come out of walls. And
Well, I've
also,
been rich and I've been poor, but I've never been a whore. But I'm happy to be the way I am today.
and with like two stories, so I tell people listening, like I said, you know what, I want a pole so you can slide down from the top story and slide like a fireman's pole, and they're like, what, like a stripper pole, Mike? I'm like, well, I guess I'd use that for that too, but I mean, I was more thinking about it's like fun, or like having like a slide, like those twisty slides, so if you're like in the top story, you can like slide down where everybody else is out.
Right. You know, I know a few people that actually have a pole in their home.
I have a couple of them.
Really?
Right now,
Yeah.
I know another person has a pole in their home.
Yeah. Well, I had two. One of them burned up in the fire. The other one, thank God, was stored. So yeah, I've only got one now. It's an exercise pole, okay?
Oh, exercise. What kind of exercise are we talking about? Sure, an exercise.
Actually,
That's
I have friends that actually went and took a class,
Yeah.
an exercise class,
Yes.
and it was on the pole. It was pole dancing.
Somebody's hitting the bong.
There you go, Tammy. Save the horse, ride a cowboy pole, right? What's up, Miriam? 420. Give everybody a 420 sound for everybody.
What about 420?
Miriam's gonna give a 420 sound for everybody.
I got the chills. When he was coughing like that, it gave me the chills. Blah, blah.
No, this is just stuff.
Yeah, what's up, Tyrion?
Yeah, to celebrate
So,
420, I went out and got an ounce of white rhino.
Oh man, I can hear your voice now. Last time I couldn't even hear your voice. That's a trip.
If you want to ride, don't ride the white horse. White rhino. Ah.
I don't know. Have you guys, have any of the other people I've ever heard Thurium talk? So, Thurium is actually
I have.
from UK.
Yeah, you can tell from his accent.
Yeah.
I've
Cheers.
chatted with him. He's
Tyrion,
cool.
what's up, bro?
Oh, it's a miracle I'm not being classed as Australian this time.
Who's our brother from across the pond?
Across the
And
phone.
let me tell you something. I used to be a total stoner. And I got to
Me
tell
too.
you,
Me too. Me three.
as we do these, sometimes we do these live streams, and although Thurium, you probably doesn't get to talk as much because, well, we talk a lot, and
Yeah.
sometimes he's a little bit quiet, and then people can't hear him or anything. But let me tell you, I've never, I don't even know how he does it. The amount of times he hits that bong during the stream, I don't even know how he feels hitting it. Like, I don't know. I tell you, man, I used to smoke a lot of pot, man. Like from the morning, from when I woke up in the morning till I went to bed. But I can tell you, man, I don't know how he does it.
I can tell you how to do it. It's a mix of insomnia and many years of practice.
High,
Wait.
so high.
It's morning for you right now, Therion. It's probably like what, like it's probably like 8 or 7 in the morning, I guess. Right?
Shit, it's morning already.
You're like
It's
upstairs.
like
It's the
10 past
witching hour
9.
here. Yeah, ha 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 ha. 3 a.m.
Ew.
3 a.m.
Oh yeah, it's late where you're at, Texas.
No, it's early.
Depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, it's early. It's not bedtime for me yet, though.
Yeah, so
I usually hit. What?
Colin and Preliminal, they're kind of asking like what we're talking about, what's going on. So, hey Jesse James, what's up, brother?
Hi, Jesse.
So just
Hi, Colin. Hi, Preliminal.
But we don't have a subject. We were thinking about talking about dreams.
Dreams.
We do want Honey to talk about her dream that she's had. But if you guys have a subject that you guys want to bring up in the chat room, hey, bring it up. We don't have a subject tonight. So, but we do want to touch on Honey's dream.
We're wandering around aimlessly in the dark.
Right?
Tag, you're it.
oh my god, that sounds like
Hey,
fun.
let's reverse it. Let's all be on the panel and sit here and wait for the chat room to bring up a subject and talk about it. And we'll chime in.
Yeah, no doubt. They need to entertain us. Right?
Did you say something, Therian? Did Therian say something?
Yeah, I said we can sit here, watch chat, and let them entertain us.
That's what
I
I'm
can't
talking
see
about.
chat though.
Oh, wah, wah.
I'm locked up in my bathroom with my cell phone.
Right?
How? Well, let's go ahead, Kelly.
I was going to say, Colin, on talking about Easter and everything, great subject. We already have a show planned for tomorrow on actual Easter to get into all of that tomorrow. I'm thinking around 4 Pacific time, 7 Eastern time. So we already have a show planned out on Easter, Ishtar, and everything on that. So I really don't want to get into that tonight because that's actually tomorrow's show.
What?
Mike, you said how? Do you know the reason why the Indians used to hold their hand up and say how? Do you know why?
Well, you said why and how. There must be
Well, no, but do you know why they did it? I know why.
I'm going to make something up.
No, let me go ahead.
Because they were like, how do you do this? No, I don't know.
How low can you go?
Yeah,
can
they
you
would do
go?
the limbo, right?
No, the reason why they did it was because they were making sure that you had 5 fingers on your hand because the fallen angels had 6.
Oh, I've
The
heard that
giants.
before. I've heard that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why.
that's a trip. Yeah.
Yep. They were trying to identify if you were human or not.
Oh wow! Like so, they must have had experiences with Nephilim or something. Huh?
Well, yeah, I mean the giants cannibalized, ate them, and they also stole their women and raped them to death and stuff.
Raped to death, man. Rape
Yes.
alone is just brutal. Like
Yeah.
I can't. I think there's very few things in life that would be worse than going through that. But rape to death is just, you know what? That's kind of brings into a dark subject though. Like makes me feel bad for anybody who's gone through anything.
Yeah.
That like ain't even remotely close to that.
Well, I mean, I've heard some stories about the American Indians speaking, the Native Americans speaking about them being so perverted, running around naked, and they ran out of women to rape, so they were doing each other, dudes.
Oh,
out in the open,
What? Well, hold on.
Yeah,
I gotta get my brain wrapped around this. So you're saying that the Nephilim did that to Native Americans, or the
Yes, yeah. They were raping and robbing the women, and when they got to a point where they didn't have any more women to rape and rob, they were doing each other.
Who was they?
The giants.
The giants. Wow, I can see that.
They were so sick in the head.
Yeah.
And so here's the thing with like Native Americans here, right? A couple things that like people overlook, and I think it's because of the
I'm Native American.
Right.
Overtake of like how when they were I guess the Americans, where you want to call them, overtook the United States, whatever. So let's just start with the beginning. In the beginning, right? The Native Americans are here. and the Native Americans were, I mean, they were actually shown everything. I mean, they had Jesus actually talked to them.
I think they were some of the lost tribes of Israel, actually.
right?
Some of them.
They also had
Interesting.
they went through everything. They weren't isolated from what everything happened in the world, right? Like Colin said, they fought the giants. Yeah, they fought the giants. They had
Yeah, they did.
Satan come in and bring in like the portals and the witchcraft and all everything. I mean,
and everybody knew not to mess with Nevada because that was giant territory.
Yeah, right. And let me tell you something. Columbus did not discover America.
No, you can't discover something somebody's already inhabiting.
Not only did he not come to America, in my opinion, if he got on a boat and he came to America, he did not discover America because the Native Americans were already here. How do you
Cowboy,
where people are already at?
Here's something I need to add. I need to throw in. I need to throw this in. If there were so many Tartarian structures, buildings, landscape, yada yada, history, how come the Native Americans never speak of these structures? How come the Native Americans never speak of the Tartarians? That's what I want to know.
Americans never speak of Tartarians. Yeah, I don't know. What's like one of those things
the mud floods
keep from us?
I don't hear a Native American speaking of mud floods. So what the hell?
Well, I'm not okay. I'm going to tell you this. Mud floods is like beyond my. I haven't looked into it.
Well, I have, and it's not part of my history.
Okay, so that's beyond me. What I do know is that I know the Native Americans have they're not.
We have a verbal history, okay?
To me, it comes down to like again, like who's to say that God didn't visit everybody, like or Jesus?
Yeah,
right?
but they just popped up with this Tartarian crap about 6 months ago,
But
yeah, that's about right. About 6 months.
From the Native Americans where Jesus walked with them and talked with them.
Well, okay, that's cool. But where does the Tartarian Empire fit in?
I don't know. I don't even know what the Tartarian thing. I don't know. You have to help me with that. What does that mean?
Well, they're just okay. Some people try to say that it was tucked away in a vault in Russia. The information, and that they were they wiped out the entire civilization of them. With the mud flood, that's what wiped them out. But these are supposed to be offspring of the giants. These were giant people that stood between 8 and 12 feet tall. All these buildings and structures were built for giant people. And there's proof. And they started out by saying it was just in Russia or whatever. And then now there's proof that the Tartarian Empire was the entire freaking world. That the old structures, the old buildings, everything that we see that's so advanced that we still today can't even fathom trying to copy their buildings and their things. I mean, we don't have builders that are that advanced today. So if these Tartarians were worldwide, and they were highly intelligent because they were offspring of the fallen angels, well, how come there's no verbal history with the Native Americans in the United States about these people?
Well, I'm just going to jump in here with my findings on the Tartarian propaganda, what's going about.
Uh-huh.
It's mainly, from what I've observed of it, it's a cover-up to hide what the Atlanteans did.
Wait. I want to make sure I understand your theory on. So what you're saying is, and stop me if I get it wrong, is that the Tartarian thing is like it's just a way to like a red herring to keep people away from Atlantis stuff. That's what you're saying?
It's a mix of that with lies and propaganda mixed in to confuse people even more.
Well, yeah, it's confusing. I mean, because they're trying to say now that the Tartarian structures were dated back to before Noah's flood. Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, Therion.
Can I get a what the F?
What the hell? Hey,
Yeah.
Therion. Do you think that who's behind it? Like CIA or something? Or
I don't know.
Uh,
But I know these buildings are worldwide, and they also are showing cartography and evidence that they had the ability to do film and things way before we ever knew anything about it. They're showing cars that existed way before we were told cars were invented. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, how is all this history hidden from us? And if you think about it, one place that is not corrupted by the powers that be is Cuba. We tried to go in and make Fidel Castro to be the enemy and shit, to bomb him, yada yada. If you get on Google Earth and you go look around Cuba, all the structures in Cuba are Tartarian.
huh.
They haven't been demolished because Cuba has been left away from the world and nobody's been able to go in there and destroy the buildings and the structures.
Hey, Therion,
It's beautiful architecture.
Therion, can you finish what your point was? I think you were getting something on that, right?
Go for
I
it.
was comparing the research, what people have done, on the Tartaria and everything. And most of it's like Atlantis, all the stories of Atlantis, just slightly tweaked.
Interesting.
I mean,
As well, they're trying to say that our timeline isn't right. We've been lied to about our timeline, about how many years, how many hundreds of years, and how many thousands of years these things have come to pass, have occurred. So, I don't know. They're saying pre-flood. I mean, pre-Noah's flood on a lot of these structures. How can they be that old? We're talking 4,000 years.
I get some of the technology that they might uncover that we know of today, just like we know that even today they can't even make a pyramid like they used to. In my thought is that pre flood, right, and everything, back in the Egyptian days and everything, right, that the people, that the Nephilim bloodline and the ones that are in charge, same ones that are in charge today, they were much more open to their powers and showing people. And I think that after the flood, that they took a different route, and they made it.
People were highly intelligent back then.
Okay, the thing is that they decided to control the knowledge that they gave man.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and when they would do it, so they control it better, but so it says, just as the days of man, the Son of Man, so as today. So when you talk about that, yeah, so they might have they have hieroglyphics showing all that, all that stuff. So yeah, so they might have that knowledge that we really don't know all the technology they had back then or how they used it. We still can't even figure out some of the technology they had back then today.
No, because we're getting dumber.
There is a way.
When you talk about a mud flood, the mud flood is something that's supposed to have covered that up. Because here's the thing, I just need to find where it is biblically that we had a mud flood. Because if we had a mud flood,
you're not going to find it biblically because it was kept out of it.
If it's not biblically,
mm-hmm.
then I can't follow it, and it's hard for me to understand, because to me,
well, the Anunnaki are in the Bible.
Huh?
The Anunnaki are in the Bible. Did you know that?
The what?
The Anunnaki gods. The gods of the Sumerian people. The ones who supposedly came here, mined for gold. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm down with that. I'm all down with the Zeus and all that. The Kraken. I get all that. But when you're talking about mass destruction worldwide, what we know is it's a flood. Now, if there was a mudslide,
what if the mud flood is pertaining to Noah's flood? What if they're one and the same?
That could happen, right?
When
that
the waters receded,
true.
It was mud.
That could be true.
There are a few problems with the mud flood, though.
Mm-hmm.
Most of what people are saying is evidence, doesn't make sense to the timeline. even if you look at the
It
timeline.
doesn't. That's exactly right, Therian. It's crazy.
They
You're
say
right.
it's 500 years ago.
Mhm.
Out in Sheffield, UK, surrounded by canals and stuff, what were built around 100 to 200 years ago. They've got all the old bridges, with the metal tracks still there. There's a few tunnels, what they claim in like library and that is from like mud flooding, from landslide, and other people have jumped on when I've been talking about it to them. Like, pointing out, like, when do you reckon that flooded? And they're going, oh, it's Tartaria, it's proof. And it's like, yeah, so a coal mine that's like well above water level in the hills has a mud flood that's higher than the canal. And the canal's still there.
And people can't get their story straight on the timeline either, Therian. I've heard people say, Therian, I've heard people say the 1900s, the 1800s, and the 1700s.
Yeah, I've heard people say 16 and 1500s as well.
Yeah, I haven't heard it go back that far, but I have heard 17, 18, and 19.
Like Italy, where Leaning Tower of Pisa is.
Yeah.
They're saying it happened there as well, and it used to be like skyscrapers there.
Yeah. They're trying. What are they saying? Every 100 years we have a mud flood? And it's hidden from history or what? It's crazy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And if it was every 100 years, wouldn't it be like predictable?
Exactly. It makes no sense to me. None of this crap makes sense.
That's the other thing. Like every 100 years, that's that seems more measurable. Like I would think, like, I don't know, unless there's because like you only need like three people, a grandfather, a father, and a child, really to reach that 100-year marker. And I the only way I can see that happening is if every so many generations they would have to like totally brainwash a whole population to forget.
Or they wipe them out, like the instance, the mud floods. They shipped in gobs of orphans in California and here in the U.S. They shipped them in, gobs of them, kids that were orphans, to make them clean up. I saw some of that.
Right, and you got to look at this. You made a great point, Mike. Is that that's how they do it. Like, look at the school system, right? Mm-hmm. You have to send your kids to the school. If your kids are delinquent and they don't regurgitate the information that is given to them, they fail. If they regurgitate it properly, they get an A. And what are they reading? History books based off of what they tell us.
His story, lies,
the truth of that history. Or all we're reading is what they're telling us.
More propaganda. And if you think about it, Cowboy, right now everything's changing right now as we sit here. They're getting ready to do another change. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's true.
And the thing is they will write the history books in the way they want.
In the way they choose.
Yes. In the timeline we're in, the best suits their agenda. Right? Because if you just look at anything, let's look at what's going on in society today with the push with the LGBT.
The androgyny, that shit's crazy.
Right? Now, if you go back, right, there was a different script on that, but now it's a different script. They will do whatever they need to do to push their agenda of the sheeple into like hurdle them in and over here and over here, and this is what we're going to tell you. And they'll just put it in your head and you just go with it, right? But who's to say what really is the true history? If we look at history, like,
I don't think anybody knows.
Harbor was bombed by the Japanese, right? And
I know the United States was never hit.
We had the technology for radar, but we didn't see 1,000 planes coming in, apparently, right? So, I mean,
Statue of Liberty was not hit in war.
They tell you what they want to tell you, and they'll put it in the book, and then the other thing they also do is just like the stupid donut in the sky that's the black hole 54 million light years away, and telling you the scientist told you that's the black hole. We got a picture of it. Never mind that if you go to NASA, they can't even get a picture of the Earth. It's not CGI'd. Yeah. So,
Photoshop. Everything's Photoshop.
People just like, dude, got to keep walking the path. Where we go now, right? Walk in line.
Well, if you're a flat earther, you don't believe in space. My mind's blown what they're saying about the black hole eating up the Sagittarius arm.
Oh, it is trippy.
Yeah. I mean, Cowboy obviously don't believe in that, but if it does exist, what the hell, I mean, did CERN do something? That's why we shifted over here. That's why we're all burning up because we're so close to the sun now and we didn't used to be.
You're going, honey.
Yeah.
Larry,
Yeah.
let me back up. Boop, boop. Bus backing up. Boop, boop.
Beep, beep,
All right,
beep.
here we go.
Short bus alert.
Now,
The little yellow bus.
forget about flat Earth.
That's my bus.
Forget about round Earth. Forget about anything like that. Let's just look at a very simple statement. They took a picture
Oh yeah.
of a black hole
Uh-huh.
54 million light years away. I can't get phone reception in the mountains.
In my
I
John.
can't take a picture of the moon, of the Earth from the moon.
Yeah. They never went to the moon. There's a scientist in 1951 that said that the moon was made of plasma. You cannot land on the moon. It's plasma. And it shows, it's a documentary, and it shows the film where when the moon's rising and it's red, the dots are like moving around all on it. That's all a lie.
Let's take it a step further. We're in the year 2019.
Really?
China, was it China? China couldn't land on the moon. The shit went haywire. Shit. But apparently, in 1969, with a computer chip that was less than the first Nintendo 64 game, they were able to land on the moon and call them. Even though we don't get phone reception in the mountains.
NASA's walking around saying, whatever, bitch, I do what I want.
You guys are going home.
And what,
That's right.
like, they pick the landline phone up with the cord and, the rotary, and they're like, okay, I got to call them on space. That phone number is 1. NASA,
NASA is never admit shit anytime.
Unbelievable, right? Come on. Right? Seriously.
And they know we know that they're lying to us, so why are they just going to keep continuing with the lie? Somebody needs to just go bitch slap them.
Right.
I mean, they know we know. So what the hell? Why are they continuing with the charade?
Well, because there's a lot of people who don't know.
Oh,
I know, and I feel so sorry for them.
Maybe $1 billion a month?
I've gone into their chats before and said some shit, and I basically got kicked out.
We're like, it's funny. This is the part that trips me out. It's like, it is the channels that are totally into disproving like flat Earth or whatever. I get it if you're into science, you're like, all right, I buy everything I'm told, etc. And I get us where we're like, you know what, I'm not buying the lie. But
I'm a square earther.
Whatever it is, what gets me though is if someone really thought flat Earth or one of these other topics was so unbelievable, like why would they devote their whole time on YouTube to dispelling it? That like for me, example, I don't believe in Santa Claus, but I don't have a channel where I'm constantly trying to expose Santa Claus.
You're disproving that fat fucker comes down that fireplace. Jimmy.
I'm not like going around after with little kids that believe in him or something like, hey, we're all you stupid idiots. There is no Santa
You believe in Santa Claus? Or what an idiot.
Right?
Let me slap you in the head.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Though? I'm not like going out of I'm not dedicating you know,
Dasher and Dancer.
right,
Ain't no damn Dasher and Dancer. Got a vixen.
right. And who the hell names a deer Prancer? Really?
Call me
Prancer.
Cupid, Prancer, or
Right.
damn Rudolph.
You know, Prancer's a little sassy.
Little fruity.
Right? Yeah, exactly. That's a San Francisco deer right there, Prancer.
Okay, San Francisco. We need to talk about my dream.
Sure.
So, but
all right.
if you look at NASA, right, and $1 billion a month, right, and I think that NASA, CERN, D-Wave, they're all part of the same agenda, and and I put that into perspective of the Tower of Babel, right, where back then when they wanted to, again, it's all about like the terms. Build a staircase to heaven, right? To break into heaven, right? They wanted to get into heaven. And why did they want to get into heaven? They wanted to bring the battle to heaven, right? That's what they wanted to do. And then God, he broke everybody up with different languages, right? But we know that in today is the same as it used to be. I really believe that NASA, which we know is like another term for Satan, right? We know CERN, which is, they say, looking for the Big Bang Theory, but also breaking the veil. We know the D wave that reaches into the next dimension, which means the fallen angels or the Nephilim or whatever, right? They're all tied together. They're all working together to what? Bring the fight to heaven. They're trying to break for us flat earthers the firmament above to break through heaven. Here's something crazy. So when you look at all these space things where people are like, that you see on flat earth channels where they're like, these guys aren't in space, they're underwater in a tank. They're underwater. You can
excuse me.
Right?
Yeah,
You
sure.
see that, right? But here's the thing.
It's
What
hot air.
if they actually were not underwater in a pool or in the ocean, but actually made it to the firmament, and they're still trying to figure a way to break through the firmament to heaven? And the bubbles is because they're in the waters above.
Yep.
Right?
Set thy trumpet to thy mouth. Call the people to wake up before it's too late.
Just saying crazy shit, man. I mean, that's the way I look at it. I know. It's like crazy. Like, I don't even think flat earthers would, I'm like one of those, like, I'm a conspiracy theorist, but even conspiracy theorists tell me, like, you're fucking crazy. I'm a flat earther.
I want both things to work.
Crazy.
See here, I want both things to work. I want to be like before the Mandela effect. We were on a globe and it was open and we weren't trapped. And then after the Mandela effect, we were moved and hijacked somewhere to this enclosed flat place dome.
Right.
I want both of them to work.
Colin says flat Earth is not a salvation issue. I'm gonna agree with you.
He's right.
I don't care. I really don't care.
Let me agree with you. There's a lot of issues in this world that doesn't come down to salvation.
True. Doesn't mean we can't talk about it. Hey.
Do you know Floyd? Do you know Floyd?
Yeah, I know who Floyd is.
Okay, Floyd is precious. He doesn't anger at anything. I've only heard him say he hates one thing, and that's baseball. We got on the subject of flat earth and round earth. He got downright freaking nasty. Cowboy had to shut him up. I triggered that boy.
I think I was there for that show, actually.
Were you? Okay. I wasn't even trying to go there, boy. He got triggered.
Yeah, I remember that one, actually.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt anybody.
That's okay.
All right. So, Cowboy, is he still here? Or is he smoking?
Cowboy, you still here?
No, he snuck off to go smoke.
Let's hear your dream. I haven't heard it yet, so I know.
Okay. In my dream, I'm in San Francisco, California, I'm like in this club with a bunch of my friends,
Okay.
and the ground starts to vibrate.
Okay.
And I'm from California. I know what an earthquake feels like. It starts to vibrate. And then after that, it starts to sway. I mean, seriously sway, where people are getting knocked off their feet. And it gets so bad to the point we like all like duck down. And then after it stops for a minute, we get up and we all go outside and we watch. We're looking at the sky, and I could see the bridge right there. The San Francisco, the bridge, and an earthquake comes, and it's so bad. I watched the bridge crumble before my eyes.
I'm here.
Wow.
Okay, in little bitty pieces, it starts crumbling, and the ground starts breaking open, and it's just swallowing everything. And when I woke up, I was still shaking. I mean, I was trembling, shaking, sweating. As soon as I woke up, I went on Hangouts and I posted it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That doesn't.
Yeah.
There's different kinds of dreams. There's some dreams are like for people who are just processing what happened that day or something. But this doesn't sound like one of those. It sounds like it's some kind of like a vision or something.
Yeah, I have these. I had a vision of my son catching himself on fire. He got like 4th-degree burns before
Okay.
it happened. And for 2 years, I kept having dreams and visions about my house burning down, and my husband wouldn't listen to me, and it burnt.
I've had those. I've had dreams like that before too. So I know firsthand it's possible. I've only had it once, but I told someone about it, and it definitely happened. So
Yeah.
I don't know how people tap into that. I don't know, but I know you're telling me the truth because I've seen
Yeah.
that firsthand. So it does happen, where you can tell.
And
It's like so somehow you I don't know. Do you have any theories about how you do it? Like how you like
I
walk
don't-
into that stream or
know.
something that I don't know.
Maybe that's me and my higher self. I don't know. Guardian
Interesting.
angel, higher self. A couple of months ago, I had a dream that I've been having over and over, where the sky is blood red and there are huge meteorites, asteroids flying from the sky to the earth, boom, hitting the ground, and the whole ground shaking. When they hit, boom, and the ground just shakes. And I'm sitting in my house, and one hits my roof, and it makes my whole house like the roof comes down like a level, and I'm trying to get out of the house before it falls in on my head. I mean, a huge meteorite, asteroid, whatever, hit my house, and my house caught on fire. And I watched all the wiring and the walls start to spark up and everything. Oh, it was so real. It was so upsetting. Oh my God, it was awful. It was awful.
When you have a dream, can you tell if it's the difference between like something that's a vision versus like something that's just like you had a dream that you're taking?
I don't have
meds,
normal
you don't have
dreams
underwear on.
anymore, Mike. I don't have normal dreams anymore.
What do you mean?
Since 2015, when I dream, it's either something that's like this, a vision, or I'm living a whole different life. I'm still myself, but I'm with different people that I don't know, and I'm living a different life. And it's been doing this since 2015. And
Whoa.
I can wake up from my dream, go
Trippy.
pee, get a drink, go back to bed, and pick up right where I left off.
I do
It's
that
like
too. Oh my
it's
god!
like I'm watching a soap opera.
I've had that too. That's so trippy. Like we're like you're I know what you're talking. I've had a dream.
I'm in an alternate dimension.
Yeah, I think I
Yeah,
know what you're talking about. It's a trip. It's like it's like you have this whole thing going on,
Yeah.
and then and
It's
it's
a
like
whole storyline, whole
right,
life.
and you kind of like let's say I don't know exactly because I haven't done this in a while, but like where you have the dream, and then the next day you pick up where you left off at. You're like it's Tuesday or whatever, right? Whatever it is.
I can wake up and pee and take a drink and go back to bed and pick right back up.
You're right. I've done that too, and it's actually been like like the whole night, right? Where
It's like I'm in an ulterior dimension.
Yeah, you're right, Rob.
That's
So
you
crazy.
wake up, you go to the bathroom, you get a drink, whatever, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, thank God that was a dream.
Right.
You go
God,
back,
I'm glad it's
like,
over.
boom, you're right back, right where you left off. Like,
Yeah.
like
I don't have horrific or nonsensical dreams anymore like I did. Normal dreams that we used to have. Like we'd watch TV and then we'd have a freaky dream from the TV show, or we'd be talking to people and our subject would go into our dream. I don't have those kind of dreams anymore. I mean, it's either me living a different life and I mean doing stupid mundane shit, getting in the car, driving to the store, talking to people. It's like a normal boring
Let me
life.
ask you this. Let me ask you guys this, because
Okay.
this happens for me in my dreams. Right? Complete, full, 100% color, three-dimensional faces. They're not faceless people. As if 100% color, 100% every vivid detail. There's nothing left out. There's no skipping. There's no
No, my dreams are like I'm watching a soap opera.
right. Is I'm living it as it goes. There's no all of a sudden I'm jumping into something different. It's just like if I gonna walk right now, which I'm gonna do to the bathroom, in my dream is not like all of a sudden I'm back, because I actually walk to the bathroom, go to the bathroom, and walk back.
Yeah, and I'm not the person viewing the dream. I'm actually in the dream. Just so you get that.
Me too. Yeah, you're not a bystander. You're part of it.
Yeah,
and I'm seeing it like through my eyes. I'm not seeing it like I don't.
Darian, were you going to say something too?
Yeah, my dreams are like that. Complete realistic, as real as it is like now. What you experience.
Just like when you're awake.
Full taste on everything.
Yes.
It's like I can pick up a drink in my dream and be drinking it, and it will taste like it's supposed to. I can smoke a cig. I can taste the smoke going in and out of my mouth.
Can you do drugs and get high in a dream? Because I can.
Yeah.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah,
And before 2015, if I were to hit somebody in my dream, I could make contact, but I couldn't harm them. I can beat the shit out of people in my dreams now.
Did you feel like I actually just had a weird dream the other night where I was on a roller coaster or something, and when it does the big drop and you feel that woo, right? Where you're weightless and everything when you're hitting when it goes straight down. I felt that in my dream. I feel just like Gary said, feel, smell, taste, everything. It's as if I'm not even dreaming. In fact, nights where the dream lasts the whole night, when I wake up to go to work, I feel exhausted as if I hadn't even slept.
Your conscience, it's like your conscience is popping into somebody else's reality and living it. So weird.
What about this one? It's kind of not as spiritual as that, but I've had a dream before where it's more like processing what happened that day. I've had those; they're more mundane, right? And where let's say someone was a mailman or a postal employee or a fireman or just a janitor or whatever it is, and what'll happen is that person will. It was actually someone that I know, but they're a different person. Like for example, let's say I had a dream, and Cowboy was in it, but he wasn't.
Same character's different role, right?
Yeah, right. With a different personality, everything. Like it'd be like Cowboy, but maybe he's I don't know.
Yosemite Sam.
Yosemite Sam, or a detective, or whatever, a policeman or something. School teacher, an actor, whatever it is, just something different, and with a different personality. Because I think sometimes what'll happen is that someone in your life or have met or whatever, they represent something to you, in a symbol way or something, and then if that might be connected to a different kind of symbol where you put those things together, the way in the language of dreams to help process whatever happened that day or something. Have you ever had that?
No, my dreams are with total strangers who I've never met before in my life, but in my dream, they're family members and friends.
I've had that.
But it's one thing I've noticed, when I'm having dreams and that, the only ones I have is realistic. I don't have anywhere it's imaginary shit. It's all
right, exactly.
And most of the time, I'll notice I can remember stuff in the dreams. But then the minute I wake up, I start losing those memories.
You do. We all do that.
But then I'll go back to sleep, and I'll be back in that dream.
Yep.
And all the memories will come back, and I'll remember everything that instant.
Well, I learned I trained myself to remember my dreams when I was younger. As soon as I would wake up, I'd have a pen and a pad by my bed, and I would write everything down. And now I don't have to do that anymore. Now I just remember them.
Oh yeah, I can't do that. I'll forget if I don't write it down.
Yeah. I've trained myself since I was in my 20s, though.
Or
You know.
you had the dream where you wake up in a dream. One of those.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Or
I-
theory.
I think that, me and Colin hit on something that a lot of people have not experienced, that I have experienced numerous times throughout my whole life, and it sounds like Colin has too.
Mhm.
I have died. So I know a lot of people say, like, if you die in your dream, you're dead.
Mhm.
Right? And that a lot of people wake up if something happens right before they actually die.
Yeah, I have done that.
I have
Falling
died.
and stuff.
I have actually died several different ways, many times. I actually died in my dream.
Like
Wow.
how? How did you die?
Car wrecks, bear attack, shot, off a cliff. I mean,
I've fallen off a cliff.
What's the best way to go, Cowboy?
the best way to go would be in your sleep, in my opinion. Don't wake up.
Don't
That'd be my
it's
best
it's
way.
not good to go and because I've died twice, literally.
That'd be in my
It's not
sleep.
fun.
So you wouldn't recommend it? Is that what you guys are saying?
No, I mean I've literally died. I've literally died twice, and when they brought me back, it was awful, awful.
All right, let's just stop right here, everybody. All right, let's stop right here. Therian, Peanut,
Hey,
Honey,
Yes.
where was the first time that you ever spoke on a live stream?
here.
Here.
Yeah. Yeah.
With candy cupcakes and cowboy.
Robin, you're not going to freeze up. You're not going to be shy.
Well, she can just mute herself.
Believe me, once you get in here, and we will make you feel so freaking comfortable, you won't even know that you're even on a live stream. Believe me, we've all been there. And Stonebender, first place he's ever talked live, here.
She needs to come be the only female on the panel so I can drop out. It's 4 a.m.
She said she's going to go on my channel first, though.
Me? Me?
Yeah.
Me?
Wow.
Were you speaking to me?
The first time I did a live stream, it was me on my own, and the video got deleted for breaching standards.
What assholes?
I know,
And
right?
all I was doing at the time, it wasn't like any conspiracies or anything. I was living out Rob from UK at the time the scandal broke, and I basically went and reported it, saying, "Yeah, it's good to hear. This is what's going on in the town centre."
Wow.
And I spoke to them, and before everyone I spoke to, because I was videoing them, and I'd put it like on my phone, and I was holding my phone up to the camera, so like people could hear it. I said to them, I don't want any racism, any swearing, anything like that. I just want them to say what's happening in a polite manner.
Right.
And their beliefs. I spoke to Britain First, EDL, Antifa, Hate Not Hope, and it got deleted because I was trying to get, like a full picture of everyone's like on all sides.
Well, that's stupid. I mean, we have no freedom, do we, Therian?
I know, and it's one thing that shocks me out of it. The people who the media report, as like right-wing extremists, they were the most polite people, normal acting. Everyone who's supposed to be, like the good guys in the eyes of the media, were like lunatics.
Yep.
They couldn't stop swearing. They couldn't stop like making racist remarks, and they were completely aggressive, just like full-on NPC rage fits.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm swearing and foul mouth myself. I try not to be, but that's that demon in me.
It's just
That's that demon.
It's
that devil in me.
It's the programming, huh? We're all like programmed to think differently than what the reality is. It's just the opposite.
Yeah.
Woe unto them who call evil good and good evil.
Amen.
Yeah, it's when I see something like that happening, and it's like I've got no clue of what's happening around me. I prefer to speak to both sides and then make my own judgment after that.
There you go.
But the problem,
the big picture.
The problem with that though is then you have to think. I'm kidding.
Well,
Yeah,
you
but
know,
that's becoming a crime in the UK.
well, you know, a
Right.
lot of people don't realize, you know, Antichrist needs World War III so the man of peace can come back. And right now we have Chinese troops, we have Russian troops, and we have Cubans all in Venezuela. And they're all threatening one another, and nobody's
Okay, so
talking
if-
about it.
Here's
If we
another
look
thing
at-
I want to talk
look at
about when it
World
comes
War-
to
I didn't understand what. Say that again.
Yeah, here's something else that nobody seems to be talking about, you know, when it comes to armies and everything.
Mhm.
Right now, the UK's army is smaller than it was before World War II.
Yeah, the U.S. Army
Because of
got
the amount-
cut way back too with
And
Obama.
the European Union are already putting in place their Europe-wide police force and Europe-wide army. And it's all like straight out of New World Order textbook.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
doubt. I wonder who thought it worse, the UK or the US when it comes to all this stuff. And then, right? What do you
And
think?
we're allies, you know.
Well, it's not just that.
I'd say the UK's worse at the moment.
I bet
You
it is,
guys are lucky you can buy guns.
right?
And look at all the stuff y'all are having to deal with all the Muslims, you know. I mean, I
Right.
feel like y'all's country is getting taken over.
And stop me if I'm wrong, Therion, but there's a lot of countries that even have it worse. Where like they like I don't know where it's like because I'm not as knowledge. I'm just an American. So I'm not like I don't know. No, I'm not as up to speed as you guys are. But like I think is it Sweden or somewhere or Switzerland or somewhere in those countries like where they can't say anything bad about Muslims or this that and everything or it's they're that's
They have Germany. I think.
Yeah, that's
Germany.
same here.
Yeah, nobody can. I mean, women get raped, you know, and they basically the women are made out to be the bad people, just like they are in the Middle East. I mean, I've heard a few of these stories already.
Honey,
Yeah,
you
that's
brought
what-
up, World War III, right? And,
Yeah.
So if you look at World War One, World War Two, right?
Mhm.
How do they determine it's a world war, right? They determine it based on how many countries are actually in a war at the
Mhm.
time, right?
We're already in World War III. They just
So
people don't know.
we have been in World War III for quite a while, based off the terms
Yes.
of how many
Yes.
countries are actually in a war at that to create enough to call a world war. We've been in World War III since back in Kuwait.
14, I think 14.
We've been in World War.
Was when World War III started.
You know what? Therion, I was in London, right? And then I was tripped because there's certain neighborhoods where it feels like a foreign country or something, right? And
Yeah, we call them no-go zones because
Yeah.
if you're like white British, you
Uh-huh,
go
yep.
to one of those zones, you're likely to get stabbed to death.
I bet I
Why
could
not?
just like me and Cowboy were talking about like being able to read people. I was in one of those neighborhoods because I didn't know where I was. I'm just not from England, right? And but I know a bad neighborhood when I see one, right? And I was watching them look at me.
Sure.
Right, I was like, well, okay, I'll just be friendly. I'm a friendly guy, and yeah, it's like there's an I can imagine just from what I've read that's a symptom of the whole thing in Europe, where there's these no-go zones and they're being invaded, and it's a worldwide thing though. So I don't think it's just England or Germany and the U.S. They're planning something globally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's literally, it's like, it started off in Europe, like when Merkel opened the floodgates saying refugees welcome from everywhere.
Uh-huh.
That's when it started getting to the really bad point, but they'd been letting them into the UK beforehand.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
connected. So they're the same people who are running both countries, I think.
Yeah, here's things that don't make sense to me, when they started doing this, but they make sense now. It's like UK border policies, for letting people in. It's like all these people, like known terrorists, criminals and everything, what they know are terrorists, they're letting in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they won't let in doctors from like India and Africa. turning them away, you know, like high skilled positions that are needed.
Uh-huh.
So it's like a surgeon can turn up with like perfect criminal record, nothing wrong, nothing against them, lived like a saint, and they'll get turned away. But
Yeah.
someone will turn up literally with a bomb strapped to the chest, going, "Yeah, I'm coming here to kill everyone," and they'll go right this way. Here, have the keys to the kingdom.
Right. So it can't. It's got to be by design. It's not an accident. Another thing is where you never see that happen is Israel. Israel's not taking all this slime in. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? That they're not taking in all these refugees and everything else.
Yeah, it's not just Israel doing that. There's other places.
But did y'all hear
the
what Trump
Vatican-
said about the refugees? Did y'all hear what Trump said about the refugees?
No, what do you say?
He told the Democrats if they're so high and mighty, I mean, if they're so they're so into trying to get all the refugees over here to this country, that's fine. Let's take them all and pack them all in one area and let it be their area. The Democrats, the Democrats live in. We'll just pack them all into where they live.
You know what I think about too, though. It's like a lot of those I don't think it's not like it's a simplification. I think to say that all Muslims are bad and all that.
Right.
I think what it is though is I think that their religion is false though.
There's not a peaceful Muslim, honey.
I disagree. I agree with you because I mean I've read the Quran and all that.
The religion itself, Islam.
Right.
I mean.
The whole religion. It basically when they do terrorist stuff, they're doing what their religion tells them to do.
Exactly.
But what I think though is that they're puppets of a bigger plan. They're not.
We all are.
That's true.
Yeah.
We all are. What I'm trying to say though is that like as violent as they are, is that they are part of the plan of someone who's really pulling the strings above them. You know what I'm saying?
So, yeah, exactly.
So like we're puppets, they're puppets, and we're part of this whole worldwide chess game or whatever.
Well, most people in the world are the same, honey. I mean,
Right.
we just because we were raised in a different culture or we speak a different tongue, and at the end of the day, we all take our shoes off the same. We all lay down our heads on the pillow the same. We all want the same thing. We all want our, to be successful, to be able to have our kids go to college. Everybody thinks the same, and they have us all divided.
Yeah. True.
On purpose. But at the end of the day, we're all just people. We're all just people, man.
Yeah, but but I've been in places though, like in London, where there is some real hatred that they have. But it's sort of like the same thing as like here in the U.S. The people to think that
it's brainwashing.
It's become when someone says racism, they automatically say, "Oh, it's a white guy. It's a white guy that's the racist."
Exactly.
And that's part of the programming too. So. I guess so. If I'm in an area where, and I see the looks, I read at people like a book, and like when someone is looking at me racist because of the way I look, to some extent, it's not their fault because they've been programmed to think that way.
They're brainwashed.
Yeah, like if you look on like the TV set or whatever, it's all the movies, what you see, the music, all that stuff. It's all part of the like a bigger agenda and all that.
Yeah, it is. You're right. You're right.
This is what I've been noticing is that if you look at like the Catholic Church, right, and then you look at the Muslim mosque, right, what are the two things, right, is the mosques and the Catholic churches that have been burnt down, attacked, shootings at back and forth.
It's mainly the churches that are getting attacked.
Right.
Right. And
most of the saying is like mosque attacks in the UK has turned out to be like false flags because the people have been doing it themselves. To try and stir up hate in local communities.
Huh.
Okay, so
which comes from a higher agenda,
This is exactly where I'm going with that. And if you look at it, is that we know the hierarchy of the Catholic Church, and believe me, when I talk about, in this, and then they throw in on the Catholic Church, but the term they use is Christians, not cat. They never say Catholic. They say Christian, right? They never say
Oh,
Catholic.
I've got something. When
Christian.
you get done with this, let me add on. Go ahead.
Okay. And then you got, so it's always like, back and forth between the two, but it's the two of them being attacked. And yet, what we know is that the hierarchy of the Catholic Church, not all Catholics. Believe me, I have a best friend that's Catholic. I know he's a believer. It's the hierarchy, right? And then you have the Muslim, right? And again, and they're in it. And just like Christianity or any other religion, the hierarchy of it, they're all in it together. That is all against the one true belief that this is why we all say the same thing, that we don't follow religion. We are believers in Christ.
Ooh, we're on the same page.
Out of it.
Just
Yeah,
wait, I'm on fire.
Religion out of it. Yet they use all these different religions, and we got attacked, and we got attacked, and you know what? All they're doing is pitting people against just another division.
Ding!
Bullshit.
My turn.
There you go.
Go ahead, Cowboy. Go ahead.
No, I'm done. Go ahead.
Okay. First of all, let me say, Revelation 18:4, come out of her, my people. Okay. He says that thou not get the plagues and the pestilences of her, right? Okay, to me, that Revelation 18:4 has to do with the harlot churches, which are Mystery Babylon, which is feminine. The holy is masculine. The church is the body. The body is masculine, okay? And there is not a denomination in the Bible. Everybody's being fooled. The denominations are just bullshit. They're all bullshit. They're not real. You know, the true church is us. All of us who are coming together and praising the Lord. Okay, in the Word. Now, let me tell you. Now, here's the deal. The churches, most of the churches, they are going to accept the ecumenical system that's fixing to come about because they want to get their tax exemption. The churches that choose not to go with the state government, with the program, they're going to be taxed to death till they lose their land, their property, their churches. And that's happening right now. Churches are going to have to go underground. And let me finish telling you what else I was going to say. They're going to have to go underground. And what's my other point? I have some more stuff I want to say real quick. It's really important about this. The beast system with the churches and the tax and all that. And so many of the churches, they just those preachy, teachy, feel good type of churches. And if you're not hearing about Revelation, you're not hearing about these things in the church, then you need to step away from there because they are not real churches. Okay. And let me see, what else was I going to say?
And if you look at it, you're looking things up. If you look at it, and everything that we've been taught is that all religions have trickled down from, the Catholics and everything. Mm-hmm. But look at what do they have? I mean, literally, if this will not wake everybody up on all religions, the churches and everything that are under the word Christianity, if they're 501c3.
Yes.
Or C3. I'm bad with that. I'm dyslexic, but
me too.
Right? But look it up.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got a few things to add quickly. This is just like the pattern I've been noticing. It's like all the churches, have been attacked recently with arson across Europe and the UK. Some of them are like Methodist, Unitarian, Baptist, all types. What they can say are Christian. And it's when I've been seeing this, on TV and everything, it's making me think back to the Seven Seals.
Interesting.
With the way they're trying to induce a holy war. It's like, wasn't one of the Seven Seals supposed to be broken before the apocalypse books, like all the false prophets and false religions claiming they're the true path to God.
Uh-huh.
Well, remember Amos 8:11. We're fixing to have a famine of the word, and this is exactly why. Because of all the people, the churches, they're either going to be preaching false doctrine, or the true churches are going to have to go underground. There's going to be a famine of the word.
Just a scary thought.
Well, it's true. It's coming. It's coming on us. Absolutely.
Right.
And remember, no word of God spoken by a man of God is ever received by the people of God when it's spoken.
Amen.
I just want to point out kind of what Colin was saying in the chat room, that Christianity is the only one that offers a path to God. You can't argue that it's the doctrine.
Only way. It's the
And
only
here's
way.
the thing. So I get Christianity could be a very loose term, right? And we stumble over that sometimes. I mean, Christianity, we know is you believe in Jesus Christ as your Savior and everything. But within that, there are still situations where within Christian churches, they're under control on what they could talk about and everything.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's
That's
why
the point. You go with the B system, or you lose your church. You don't get your
That's
tax
why I don't go with-
exemptions.
with any necessarily, term of religion, because
Oh,
I
gosh.
just go by with I'm a follower of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I believe in Jesus Christ. I don't know how in depth I need to tell somebody when they're asking me this. Like how deep you want me to go?
Well,
Like I
Well,
believe
we're
Jesus
fixing to have a civil war. I hope you
Okay,
know.
well, I believe Jesus Christ is God.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe in Trinity. Okay, well, like how far do you want me to go? But I'm not going to label that. I'm not going to label it.
Yeah.
And we are the body of Christ.
You want a
right?
prophetic word?
Right?
We're going to have Christian rising up against Christian. The whore of Babylon churches. Okay, it's gonna start out in Minnesota and Michigan, guys. That's where the battle's gonna start out with
Why
Christian
say
against
that?
Christian.
Why would it start out in Michigan?
That's just a prophetic word that was given. Okay, it's Michigan and Minnesota, but it's going to be Christian against Christian, and it's going to be the whore of Babylon churches. It says who go with the B system preaching. They will come against. They will come against the body of Christ, who will be made to go underground. And it says the war will literally begin in Michigan and Minnesota. And it says jealousy and envy are two of the monsters that cause all this stuff to come down on the men of God. Yeah. Yep. And it says, and then some of this stuff is going to have to do with AI too, guys. With demon possessed bots, and get this, some of the people that are in Congress and holding high seats in the government, which we've thought this anyway as conspiracy theorists, have been said that they are clones and they are AI controlled. And one way to know that what you're looking at is not human anymore, it's been given a word by, say, fallen angel spirits. They tighten the lips, they close the eyes, blink a lot, and they look down. They tend to look down when they're given answers. Yeah. Yep.
So I'm just getting back to something that Colin said.
Okay.
About I agree. There are churches out there that absolutely 100% are not under the thumb. I've been, and yeah, they're out there. Absolutely. I agree. Use your discernment on the churches that you go to. Absolutely.
Yep. Well, you got to think about, this AI and all this crap fixing to be coming to fruition. Think about foreign lands, how they have statues and deities that speak, and that goes on right now. Right now, in the Book of Acts, they talk about how whenever they came to get rid of all, they burned all the stuff. It was curious arts, books, and idols that were brought to be burned, and
Right.
that kind of goes back to the foreign lands having the statues and the deities that speak to this day.
Yeah,
So,
and Colin Brown Olstein. I gotta be honest with you. I gotta be honest.
his dad was a Scientologist.
I used to watch him on Sunday mornings. I mean, I'd put on,
Feel good, preachy, teachy kind of sermon. No God in it.
I will tell you,
Yeah.
this happened before I was awake. This happened before I totally, completely figured a lot of stuff out. Right?
Before you woke up.
Yeah. I think it was kind of through the process of waking up, but before I was like understanding about more of the church type thing.
Yeah.
Right. I'm listening to Joel Osteen talking, and he did a whole thing on TV, and I'm listening to it, and he's talking about how where he lives, they're putting a speed bump on his road, right? Mm-hmm. And that they were talking about putting up a sign about like speed bump ahead or like whatever, right? Whatever they do, and that was actually going to go in his front yard,
mm-hmm.
right? And he was pissed, and he was like, "Pray to God." Pray to God. Right, because apparently the way the law is it has to be a certain distance from the speed bump and on a certain side of the road. And he was like, "How do I get out of this? I'm just going to pray to God that they don't put that sign in my yard."
Stupid. That's so dumb to me. Sorry.
So he woke up. And guess what? Not woke up the next day. When they finally put the sign in,
mm-hmm.
not only was it not on his property.
Oh, he's so blessed.
Not even on his side of the street.
Lord have mercy.
But across the street, down a ways, on a neighbor's yard. Hallelujah!
That was so important. Oh my goodness gracious! How many starving children were fed from that sign being placed somewhere else?
I gotta tell you, when he did that, I turned the TV off and I was like,
disgusted.
Listen to him again.
I'm so proud you're woke.
I was disgusted.
Well, we have to remember, guys, we are the salt of the earth. If the salt loses its flavor, it's worthless. You become pavement to be trampled on in the streets. Okay? Don't lose your flavor. Don't lose your flavor. There's so many people, for instance, they say, well, why am I here? How come I've lasted this long? What's my purpose? Well, I want you to know right now, God's pulling up nobodies up. He's pulling up people left and right, people that are just nobodies, like me or you, okay? And he has a plan for us. We're chosen because we're the remnant. We're supposed to be here to last till the end because we're supposed to touch a lot of people and bring a lot of people in who had no church in them, who had no word in them. And believe me, with just mindless things that we think we're saying, a lot of people can be touched like that, I feel that with my whole heart, Listen, God, he's the one who leads us by still waters. And if you're lonely, don't fret, because he'll send good people to you just like he's done for me. With this community here, I'm not lonely anymore. I'm not sad anymore.
Amen. That's beautiful. You say
Thank you.
like the coolest things, honey.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll shut up now and let somebody else talk. What was on my heart, I got out.
Always quiet. Ethereum, I like to open the door a little bit for you so that you don't feel you have to jump in.
Yeah. Just been thinking about something. You know, when you like talk about book burning before,
Uh-huh.
I reckon, you know, all the books that have been burnt,
Mhm.
the only ones that were like burnt were the mainstream copies, and they've still got like copies in the Vatican archive.
Yeah.
Because it's like World War II, Hitler went around burning all the books,
Mhm.
but it'd be secretly taking copies of them and storing them, like the artwork and everything.
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't know that.
I was kind of worried about the artwork and things that were being taken out of Notre Dame. You know, that's susceptible now to being stolen.
You know what I found kind of strange is when we did the stream the other night, we talked about the Notre Dame fire, and who was it? The Hunchback of Notre Dame, right? And we dived into that. I don't know if you guys were there. I know Stone was there. We dived in. Yeah, we dived into that and we looked into all that, right?
Yeah, I was thinking Phantom of the Opera.
We were like tripping, like, oh my gosh, it's like we've been into the whole history of it, and who wrote the book and the bloodlines of them, and how it pertains to the fire and the history. And I was blown away because I didn't even think about that, and she brought it up and we dived into it. And the next thing I know, I'm watching videos all over the place talking about it. Like, it's weird how that works. I'm not saying like they did it because they watched my stream or anything. I just feel like, yeah, it's kind of like God opened your eyes to a lot of people on YouTube that are truthers to how to look into it and everything. And I was like, wow, yeah, we definitely hit into where we needed to talk about that night, and put it together. That was crazy. It blew my mind.
Yeah, I've been looking into it more as well. And the more I look into it, the more it points to arson.
Yeah, exactly. It's like another 9/11. Sorry.
Yeah, that would though, you know, in that like tower, what collapsed. That was supposed to have been treated so it wouldn't burn. So the only way it could have been burnt is if there was a axe element put on it.
Yep. Well, sorry. Look at the Twin Towers. There's no way the Twin Towers could have burned like that the way they were built.
Yeah.
Unless it was ignited from the inside.
If you look at the
Demolition.
If you look at the Notre Dame there, they have what? 2 towers. Tower 1, Tower 2, right?
Reminds me of the 9/11.
Tower 2, right? On top of that, if you remember on that stream, somebody else in the chat room, I can't remember who, it might have been Phyllis, I'm not quite sure, brought up
the mosque.
The mosque.
Yeah, that was Phyllis Willer.
Israel that supposedly caught on fire.
But it wasn't.
At the same time, right? Remember that?
Yeah, it was propaganda, though.
Yeah.
Fine. That it was a lie and misinformation put out by the mainstream media, right? We looked it up.
I think somebody should have got fired for that shit.
And they even admitted the mainstream media had put out false information. And as soon as we did that, what happened, you guys? We got nailed by what? Like 4 or 5 trolls that came in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we weren't sticking to the narrative.
Yeah, well, what do y'all think about Julian Assange? You think he's going to survive? Think he's going to make it to testify? Or you think they're going to take him out?
Inside, do you think there's a card?
He might be one of them. Who knows?
I've got a theory of why Assange, like,
he's got a lot of information on these people, on the Clintons.
I mean, he's part of it. There's a card in the Illuminati game with him on it.
Yeah.
He's part of it. No different than Trump or anybody else. He's part of it.
Mhm.
I think what's happening with Assange is basically America's cut a deal for the reason so Trump can get the dirt on Hillary and everyone. You know that I've been doing all the crimes.
Mhm.
You know, so he's got extra evidence. Because the way Trump does stuff, he's like smart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he had the power to pardon himself from all those
Yeah,
false
well,
accusations, you know, of Russia
yeah.
collusion. But he let
Yeah.
them carry on the.
Well, they're trying to say Trump gave all that information, leaked it to Russia so Russia could leak it out to the public, right? That's what I heard.
Yeah. But at the same time, you know, they started talking about Russian collusion in America.
Hmm.
The BBC over in the UK jumped on it,
Mhm.
saying that was the reason that everyone voted leave in the UK because we're all being paid by Putin.
Wow. I know Trump and Putin are friends. They're not enemies. That's a
yeah,
lie.
and
You know what they say.
And if Putin's listening right now, I want to know where my rubles are.
Right.
Yeah, me too. Tell me about it.
I think
where's
it's
my-
all this. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, Darian.
Yeah, it's like it's constantly on the media over it. It's even like you pick up a free newspaper on a bus, which is supposed to be non-biased
Mhm.
because it's free. And I picked one up, you know, because it's got like the picture of Notre Dame on it.
Uh-huh.
And I open it, and on the first page inside it, it's already slagging off Trump.
Shh.
And they're trying to make out that investigation isn't over and he's guilty.
Well, I think it's a big distraction, this Trump and this Russia Putin thing. It's just a big distraction to keep people, you know, turned away from what's really going on, and it's to get Trump reelected, you know, which we already know he's going to get reelected anyway.
He needs to be. He's not even had a chance to have a proper presidency.
Yeah, I'm not against Trump. I'm not against him, but I just think he's still a puppet.
But since he's been in office, he's not really had time to accomplish anything because there's been constant attacks on him from the Democrats.
Well, he has actually accomplished some things. I mean, black unemployment is at its lowest that it's ever been since Kennedy was in office, I think.
Okay, so this
Yeah.
is okay. So I really appreciate how everybody has some type of hope because hope is good. Hope is fabulous, right?
We have to have hope.
Is when they put that hope in a form of an illusion that's not that is controlled.
Yeah, control
You
opposite.
lose concept of really what your hope is.
True.
I've got a word of God on hope. Go ahead.
Trump is going to do this or that.
I agree. I was going to say the same thing.
Right, and all this stuff, and this is the beautiful part of the deception that they've been doing all along from the beginning, is to always make you feel that, like, no matter what you think, there's always going to be a choice that is better and is going to help you. Then ultimately, they're the ones. Two people in front of you. Think about how the elections have been since the beginning of time. There's two parties? No, there's not really two parties. There's a lot of parties, but there's only really two to vote for. And it really comes down to it that they put on TV and Democrat or Republican. And they make you think that everything that they do is opposite of each other with their ideas. We're either for the rich or for the poor. We're going to help them. We're going to do this. We're going to make our military stronger now because we need to make our military. So we need to do the Republicans or, we're not. No, and then we need, and they make you think this when ultimately the two people that they put up in front of you, they don't give a shit who you vote for because it's the same. Doesn't matter.
Well, I think all this crap's going on, honestly. Well, hope, his hope overcoming all earthly things. I mean, I don't know. I think you should have, that's what you should have hope for.
Okay. Well,
his hope is overcoming all earthly things.
I get where you're going, and I am a true believer in the Word of God, and I know that God uses Satan's deception, lies, and outwits him for good. So therefore, yes, maybe God has decided to put Trump in over Hillary because he knows that he can get better system.
Well, I kind of feel like all this shit's going on because under the all this stuff that's going on under the scenes, quietly they're rolling out the social credit system. I
Yep.
mean,
Yep.
they sent our best tech dudes over to China to set up the social credit system in order to roll it back to the United States, in which it's already starting to be implemented. Ephesians 6 has to do with the social credit system. People do not believe in it. Okay, the social credit system.
Mark of the beast.
What? But it's made to weed out Christians for a later annihilation of us.
They're doing that type of thing in the UK as well.
Yes. The social credit system was implemented, like I said, by all these high-tech guys, and they're bringing it back to the USA. That's all I can say. Our cell phones, our faxes, our phone calls, everything we do on Facebook, on the internet, everything right now, it's all being documented and dated. I mean, everything. It's all being jotted down to be held against us in a later time.
Well, if they're paying attention to me on Facebook that way and all other ways, I deliberately give them shit what will confuse them. Just like that.
Well, the documentation is to put the beast system in place. Yeah. It's all controlled system, baby.
Yeah, it's like me and mate, we'll talk on Facebook. We'll be like in the same room, but we'll be chatting on Facebook, like complete opposite to what we're actually talking about. Just to mess with them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's pretty smart.
It's like when I've noticed this. You'll be private messages when having a conversation. And you'll be talking about products, and the next thing you know, you're seeing adverts for them everywhere on every.
Yeah, you're right. They follow the stuff like I see that too, in like stuff like something will pop up like in a totally unrelated site that was similar to something I looked at before or whatever, and it seems like they do that a lot more. Like they know a lot more than what they let on.
Yeah.
And in China, like you're right, they have the credit system there. But I think like Facebook is connected there somehow, and then you're right, they're gonna bring it back over here. And I was watching a video where they were they were trying to get people, I think, to volunteer for facial recognition stuff, so that way they could get that part of their image too, and then maybe use it to frame people later. So like they could probably take voice recognition and imitate the voice and the way we look and have it do stuff that we never did, So
they've already got that.
Right. SCS is already here. I mean, look at your credit score. Look at your health records. The credit system is here. It's already started. And
Star Wars bringing back Princess Leia, even though the actress is dead.
Yeah,
even though she was a dude.
Right. Yeah, even though she was a dude. Yeah. I mean, I can't
even. Did you remember Psalm 2? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They hated God. They say, we will not have this man, Jesus, to rule over us. And that is the United States of America happening right before our eyes.
Hold on, wasn't that Madonna's latest album?
Maybe.
Yeah, right. She got that video or that she's working on. Where A Call for an Uprising was talking about how she has like all her altars or splits, or whatever you want to call it, were kind of on display with that.
Well, just like I said, the churches right now, all this crap going on. They are Mystery Babylon, the mother of harlots, and the churches are going into that universal ecumenical movement, and it's all fakery. It's all
hey, honey, Call had a great question. What do you guys think the mark's going to be?
I don't know. Honestly, some people think it's a microchip. I just don't know.
I reckon it's RFID chip because the EU's already trying to push that in the Lisbon Treaty.
Well, I know a good old Southern preacher from Arkansas one time said, it's Pastor Arnold Murray from Shepherd's Chapel. He said the mark of the beast is not on your forehead, it's in your forehead because you know who you belong to.
I disagree with that. I don't buy that. I've heard
I'm
that.
not saying I buy it either, but it's
Yeah.
something to think about.
Yeah, I hear. I've heard people say that like it's like it's it's because
No, it says it's going to leave a sore. It says it's going to leave a sore.
Yeah,
so
I think-
obviously it's going to be a chip or something.
right. Like, because some people think, well, there's Sunday law. I don't buy that either. Or it's going to be, because your hand is a metaphor for your works, and then your forehead is like where your thoughts are at and all.
Yeah, well, this credit score, look, here it comes rolling out. The credit score, the stuff that's rolling out right now. They implement the chip. If you don't accept the chip, then you're not going to be able to buy or sell.
And people already use the chip
Yes, they are.
To buy stuff, like in a vending
That's
machine
right.
or something. So
That's right.
that kind of, to me, at least treats the fact that it's going to be a chip or something like
Yes.
the chip, a different form of it,
Yeah.
like a tattoo, digital
It's
tattoo. or
maybe
whatever.
something a little bit more advanced. Who knows?
Either way, it doesn't really matter. It's going to be something related to the chip, I think.
And so many people say, I am not going to take that mark, and I'm not going to bow. And at the end, they're just going to give in and do it because they want to feed their families and stuff.
I don't think it's the chip. I think it's kind of like the chip that they're doing now is kind of like a
Runner-up.
pre-programming people and seeing how people react. But what I do know is that we might not know exactly what the mark of the beast is, and we can theorize. But what I do know is that when it comes down to it, it can't be deception, and we will
Dimitri
know.
Duduman said that the mark of the beast, how it says it's on your forehead or in your hand, that is the Islamic nation, Muslims, because they wear something on their head and on their hand. But they are the beast.
But we will know it's the mark of the beast.
Yes, we will.
Know we are taking the mark of the beast. It will not be.
We have to accept it. They can't make us take it.
In the Bible, with Mark of the Beast, doesn't it talk about like boils and stuff appearing on the skin?
It'll be one sore. It'll be made to cause a sore.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, now,
break down,
just-
right?
So your
While I'm on
body
this
will be
point-
rejecting it.
Yeah, just while I'm on this point, just look up pictures of RFID chips that have gone wrong, in the implants.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, people's
that's
bodies
exactly
rejecting them
what
and
it
they're
looks
getting
like.
rashes.
Yeah, like rashes and like swelling,
Mhm.
like where they are.
Right.
But they pretty much have it perfected now, where people's bodies are going with the flow. They're accepting it.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
like I think Thurion is onto something because I watched something where the guy
I
who did
believe
the RFID thing, he said that he felt bad about it afterwards or something, right, Thurion? Because like
Mhm.
that there's something about them that like after so long they could break down, which would cause all those things that are in the Bible.
Well, think about it. Look, AI, no death. You're not going to die. You're going to be able to live forever in the system. People are going to want for death and not be able to find it. They're going to want to die.
They're going to beg me to die.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And if a computer can get a virus and they can put that shit in your body, don't tell me they can't put that virus right in your body in that computer chip.
Mm-hmm. I see that.
Yeah.
Or-
It's like,
You know what I think that RFID chip can do?
What?
As they push it, I think through they can. It's a way where it's connected to you to where they can put thoughts in your head.
That's right. That's what 5G is as well.
They can
Yeah,
then turn you into the zombie. Like Colin's already way ahead of me. And then this is where the depopulation comes down, where they turn into zombies and they just depopulate, right? They just
People in areas that have 5G already implemented have reported hearing thoughts in their heads, and their children are just going insane.
This is old technology, by the way, and I don't think the mark of the beast is going to be exposed until they have depopulated the world enough to where they make
They can
people
control
so
us.
desperate and
Yeah.
so limited in numbers that they will take it the lukewarm or the
Yeah. Well, they're dumb. They're dumbing us down. They're making us sickly. GMO foods have no nutritional value. Anything you eat GMO has no nutritional value. It's like eating cardboard.
Mhm.
yeah.
That's out right now. It's where you see these crazy people that are, they call it FLACA or anything else.
Yeah.
Where they're just like insane.
Like demonically possessed.
Unbelievable, right? It's so yeah, they're testing it. It's out there, and they
Mhm.
even have said that with the people that have the chips, and they put it in there, it's connected to you, your nervous system, your thoughts. They
Mhm.
can actually like send messages to you you don't even know, and you think. I mean,
Yeah,
imagine you're sitting on your couch, and all of a sudden you're like, "Oh my god, I really want a Big Mac
yeah,
hamburger right now in my
exactly. I
refrigerator."
really want to go stab you with a pencil in the eye.
Right? Like if she says that one more time, I want to
Oh,
just like, shoot her.
that'll.
It's not even
A little
something.
girl actually did this, guys. Where they had rolled out 5G. This lady's daughter had always been a good little girl. She never got in trouble. Now in school, she's disruptive. She was fighting with kids, not obeying her teachers. The mother and her two children went to McDonald's and got Happy Meals. Right. Well, the little girl tells her mom, "Mom, I want your shake." And she's like, "No, you had your own." The little girl grabs a pencil out of her mom's purse and stabs her in the fucking eye.
Damn.
Yeah, and they've been taking her back and forth to the doctor, and they said it happened when the 5G got rolled out.
It could also be the education system. No, I'm being serious here. Over here in UK, I've got a source. I can't release the name or anything because the Secrets Act.
Okay.
Started working for a company called Pearson's a few years ago, and they're like, scanning all like the exam papers.
Uh-huh.
And they saw what was on the papers firsthand, and they told me, and I believe this person because I've known them for years. And literally, the education here, it's dumbed down so bad. It's like kids now don't even know the times table in the UK.
Wow. Man, it's all by design, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, I had a funny conversation about this. I was talking to someone the other day about the education system. I was like, well, you know what? For starters, with the education system, it's all about programming the whole thing anyway, right? So if you look at it, at least in the U.S., like if you go through the education system, there's a drop off point where like a huge number of kids they drop out at like high school at some point a year because they just keep getting passed along per grade. So those guys just end up being dropouts or girls, whatever. And then so let's say it was half. Then out of that half, let's say some of them they get a GED or something, so they don't get the full on diploma. And then the other ones that actually do stick it out and they get to the end, they graduate, but then they never do anything with it. They don't go on to higher education or whatever. And the ones that do go on to higher education, that they find is that they're not unprepared, so they have to take remedial classes because they didn't learn enough to do what they should have.
Right.
And then for those ones, some of them just go to junior college and that's it. But some of them they actually do end up going on, get through the remedial classes, stick it out, and they go on to get their 4-year degree. And then what do they get as a reward is that they get that Masonic cap at the end, and then their head's been full of all these
Then
useless,
they're overeducated idiots.
and then there's their success that they get at the end of the day, that the golden star or whatever, is that they get to go be part of the beast system. So no matter what, it's a losing
lose situation, right, Mike?
Right,
Yep.
exactly.
Well, we have that system that we had implemented over here where no child is wrong, where 1 + 1 is 3, and they're right.
You know what? I think that's part of Common Core too, right?
That's what I'm talking about, Common Core.
Common Core, yeah, that's pretty.
That's dumbing down our
kids.
kids.
Too. Yeah, it is dumbing them down.
So wrong.
Also,
Thank you, Mike. I couldn't remember what it was called. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
one of the things I heard what was in these exam papers is one of the questions was, is it okay to punch a Nazi in the face?
What?
No joke, and that was like 3 years ago now.
What's the question again? What did it say?
Is it okay to punch a Nazi in the face?
Oh wow!
And it's 2 boxes, tick boxes, yes or no.
Oh my god!
The correct answer.
And guess what? We're the Nazis.
Only if he's unarmed.
Right.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
What they mean is white male, probably.
Yeah, I'm just joking. I didn't mean it. Only if he's unarmed.
Nothing
Those
against
other
the races
questions.
program.
Yeah.
in the papers what we're trying to push Islam onto Christians.
Well, they're trying to merge the religions and call it Chrislam. You cannot
but-
put a violent religion with a peaceful religion. It will never work.
It's not just that. It's like all religions won't mix. None of them will.
No.
Because of the differences.
So true.
I disagree with that one because I think, well, it depends on your outlook, but it seems incongruous now. I agree, but I think what's going to happen though is because when the Antichrist comes, he's got to appeal to all those other
It
religions.
will be a one world religion.
Right, it's gonna be. So they have to make that fit together somehow. So like that's why the Pope is like recently he's like he had that kind of PR thing where he had Hindus and this, that, and there, all these different people come together. What's going to happen, I think, is that when the Antichrist comes, it's got to be somebody who could somehow relate to all those things.
Appeal to everybody.
Right. So
I don't think, you know what, I gotta go with this route. I get what you're saying, but I don't think it has to be somebody that relates with all the religions.
Well, look, the Muslim. Okay, go ahead.
Somebody that goes against all the religions. And what is the one thing that goes against all
aliens, maybe the alien thing.
I was going to say the Pope said he was going to baptize aliens, and then we've got the Mahdi fixing to come about for the Muslims, and then we're waiting on on Christ for the Jews. So maybe he's going to wind up being one and the same for all of them.
But I'm listening, Cowboy. I got your line of reasoning. Let's hear it though.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
So they're gonna the aliens goes against all religion. I mean, find a religion out there, right? Any of them that is saying that there's and it's on purpose. That's another thing. It's on purpose why they.
You might be right.
Do that, right?
Yeah, I can see that, man.
The only ones that do that is what the scientists, right? The scientists, right? The scientists.
Or maybe they'll pull the Scientologists, right?
No, the Pope's a clone anyway.
Like they're going to join forces with Scientologists. They'll be like, "See, we told you guys. What's up now, bitches?" Right? Like,
Joel Osteen's dad.
yeah, he's going to come down from Mars, right? Get the brain.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, bow to Joel Osteen. Take me to your leader, right?
Right. And so what do we have? We have a pope right now, right? Who
Who's a clone?
baptizing them, bringing all religions together under one God, which is against the Catholic.
Tom Cruise,
belief,
right? Tom Cruise down with it.
Singing songs to Lucifer. Jesus is just a man. You don't have to believe in him to be saved. All these things that the Pope has said is so against all these Catholics that have been raised up.
Hey, remember how we were talking about the Catholics wearing the mitre, the fish mitre hat? Dagon is the god I was telling you about, the water god that they worship, one of them, Dagon. Okay, remember I couldn't think of it the other night?
Okay, but if you look at what is the largest, other than to me science, the largest religion in the world that a lot of religions fall under is Catholic, right?
True.
Right.
And so
Rome.
that's going to be the hardest one to bring down, right? That's going to be so now you have
That's the one that was yet still is in the Bible. Rome.
The false prophet, because what does a false prophet do? Right? What's his role? He's if the Pope is not the false prophet, then oh my goodness,
Obama.
what more damage could another person do with lies? Right?
Why the hell has Obama been to Germany 10 times? And why did he go sanctify the seat of Satan?
Maybe he really liked the schnitzel. He's like, I like this.
Maybe.
Right? He's like supporting the Lederhosen.
When he got elected the first time, he went over there, and then he turned right around and had the same thing built in Denver, where he did his acceptance speech.
I don't know. Go ahead.
What?
Here's one about Obama. What I find funny, when he talks about collusion in elections.
Mm-hmm.
Or Brexit, he came over to the UK and he told everyone to vote Remain.
Yeah, no doubt. And then he went to the Israel elections too, right?
Wow.
Yeah, for sure. He's full of it, but they all.
I think he's demon possessed too.
Right, he likes that German sausage, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so does his husband Michael.
Yeah, you go.
Right. Right?
I've got a picture of Michael and Barack.
Michael's got a
Well-
German sausage for him.
Yeah, but I've got a picture of Michelle when she was Michael.
Really?
Mhm.
What are you on about? He still is.
Uh-huh. Do you
Yeah, I do.
really?
Yeah, I do.
Well, I mean, how did you get that? What does it look like?
I got it off the internet. Yeah, a long time ago. I have it. I could send it to you on Hangouts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will. Okay.
Yeah, make
What-
him the thumbnail for this like live
What
stream.
does it look like? So does it look like a woman?
Huh?
So Michelle doesn't look like a woman?
No, she's a dude. She's a total dude. That's
He
back. It
still
was
is.
back. It was yeah. It was back in their college days.
Shit.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're all into that stuff, aren't they? The elites are all into gay stuff, and
They're all into that androgynous bullshit.
the illusion they put out too of like these rap stars and then Hollywood stars. It's like they're just living the life, but like a lot of them are just like I think are they're.
Look,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say the Illuminati, they believe that the gender is non-binary, and that's part of the beast system. It's androgyny. They feel like the Luciferians, that before the fall of man, they feel like we were all androgynous. And when we fell, that's when we were separated into two sexes. See what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I was like, it must be like from a Gnostic point of view or something.
I don't know. It's what the freaking Illuminati people think.
Yeah, they are
The
freaks.
Luciferians. Yeah.
They're all freaky up in there.
Yeah.
So with all that, like they're trying to do, like get kids to change genders, and like all that brainwashing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, think
Yeah,
about
it's
all
not-
these Illuminati families that have little boys and they raise them their entire lives to be girls and vice versa. That's just so sad.
It is. It is.
And all the women you lust after in Hollywood are really men. It's disgusting.
I can't even watch a Hollywood movie with a woman in it. I always think they're dudes. I just assume it's a dude. And then I think some of the dudes are really women too. And they're just like the same thing. They're trained differently or like given hormones or something. So it's yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, from what I've heard, about the processes they go through, they have to take those hormones for their entire life.
Yeah.
And they're told it's a sex change, but if that was true, it would have to be a DNA change as well.
Well, we've got men that are dressed like women marrying women that are dressed like men. And you see proof all over the place where the men are the ones that are pregnant and everybody just thinks they're fat. It's the men that are dressed as women, the women that are dressed as men, and the men that are dressed as women. The ones that are actually men are actually females, and they're the ones carrying the baby. So it's all screwed up.
Yeah, it's
I
all
mean,
backwards.
I mean, they're really married couples, men and women, but in the public eye, the woman is the man and the man is the woman. It's stupid.
You know what's funny about that? It reminds me of like how like Aleister Crowley tells people to read backwards. I do everything like in reverse or something. And it reminds me of like there was a time when I spent a lot of time reading fairy tales and all that sort of thing.
Uh-huh.
And
Me
they do
too.
the same thing where like if they want to see the fairy world, what they do is turn their shirt inside out.
Yeah, you flip it upside down.
Upside down. Then you could see that world or whatever.
You watch out for the in-betweens.
And they do the same. They're actually the same. Oh, the in-betweens too. Like if you're in between a crossroads.
That's right.
Right.
Your doorway, your door jam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
Mhm.
That too. Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's connected somehow. You know what I'm
I
saying?
do.
Like,
I think fairies come from the fallen angels when
I
they
agree.
corrupted the entire earth. Yeah.
yeah, fallen angels, whatever. Yeah, I completely
yep.
agree with you,
Yep.
honey. Yeah.
Yeah, they're totally pushing the whole tranny thing and everything. It really, what it does is it really pushes people like us who believe in Christ into a taboo area that they look at it like, just doesn't matter what you believe in the Bible or where your faith is. The fact that the book that you put your faith into and your God is against transsexual, then therefore everything's out the door, and now you are taboo. I just took I had to take the mandatory California. I think I told you guys the other night, a couple of you, the mandatory California it's called sexual harassment.
Training or something.
Sexual harassment. Program.
Our team song go with it.
It's called that. But
Harassment.
it's on bullying. It's on
Yeah.
everything that happens within the workplace. And so I had to take it, and I was just completely blown away because it got to a section where it came down to the sexual orientation.
You
right?
said, "Screw you guys, I'm going home." No, I'm kidding. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I hate you guys. I hate you guys.
And so I've taken it, and it's like, okay. So apparently, if somebody comes to work, and I get it, like they associate themselves as a woman and they're a man, and they dress like a woman, and they want to go into the women's restroom, right? That's one. Or a woman associates her as a man and dresses like a man, and then goes into the men's room. Okay. A little awkward at the working place because I'm not quite sure why you would feel the need to do that. Just to wait. Okay, whatever. We get that part. That's kind of the old school part of it, right?
Yeah, the way they're going with that, like.
Well, at least you don't have to worry about her pissing on you at the urinal.
There's new one. There's one that I was not even aware of. Apparently, you don't even have to be. I could be a man who is totally into women, dating a woman, married a woman, and absolutely not attracted to men at all.
But you identify as a woman?
And dress like a man and everything.
Okay.
But for whatever reason, I feel more comfortable and associate with pissing in the woman's room.
Right.
And so if I go in there and the woman's like freaks out and throws a fit, I could go to HR and file a complaint against her.
Man, that's why don't they just cut it all out and have just one bathroom? You know what I mean? One bathroom.
I couldn't believe it. I had to stop it and replay it. Did I hear it?
Unisex.
When it comes to the bathroom thing, I've got a funny story, but it's probably going to be classed as a hate crime or something over in UK, but I don't really give a shit. I was doing bartending about 6-7 months ago at a pub in Sheffield, and this person came in, obviously a bloke, bearded everything, saying he's a woman, wanting to use the woman's bathroom. I said, no, you can either use the men's bathroom or go elsewhere. And he went, I'm not going in there because I'm a woman. So I said, well, you can use the disabled then.
Right.
Well, I have an issue with men dressing up like women and using the women's restroom. So, because little girls are going to be in there, and that's
Yeah, I
just
don't
not
know.
right.
No,
Right.
it's not. Think about it. A rapist, it's like an open
Right.
door. They think, oh, yeah, all I have to do is walk around in drag and I can get away with it.
Yeah.
So that's like toilets and stuff are supposed to be safe for people to go in.
Yeah.
But you see a bloke walking into a woman's bathroom, you're going to think straight away that's suspicious, aren't you?
Yeah.
Unless it's a cleaner and they're putting a sign on the door saying out of use while cleaning.
Oh, that's what you had to do? Put a sign.
Well, it's all perverted. They're not going to fix it. It's not ever going to go back to normal. Whatever form of normal we used to have.
They're pushing the gayness and everything on kids before they even know.
And sexual consent of children. Hello.
Before they even reach puberty. Look, when you growing up, maybe you're naturally you think but you don't look at that girl's hot in school or anything. You're growing up, you haven't reached puberty, and you're not even thinking she's cute or he's cute. You're just thinking, I'm gonna go, play in the creek when I get home and whatever. I don't even think about that until you get to puberty. And when you get to puberty, that's when you develop and that's when you find out like I'm attracted to a certain color of hair, a certain body type, a certain, whatever. But usually, 99% of the time, I would say, is the opposite sex, right? And that's when you find out kind of where your attraction comes when you hit puberty, right? So, no freaking way are they exposing this stuff to kids, because what they're doing is they're exposing it to kids in elementary school right before puberty. What happens right before puberty? You become that age where you find out and you figure out popularity. Right? Because before that, popularity doesn't even freaking matter. But all of a sudden you're getting to that age where like, who's hanging out with who?
Yeah.
Who's going to the mall with who? Who's going to the movies with who?
Right.
Who's doing sleepovers at whose houses? How come I wasn't invited?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And then they introduce that, and then what is cool?
Right.
What stands out is being different, and all of a sudden it's like you have to accept it, and it pushes them into this role that they don't even know the role that they're in.
I agree.
They have no idea.
Yeah, for sure. You're absolutely right. It's to some extent, some people never grow out of that whole thing. But I get what you're saying though, right? It's just super intense at that age though, when they're going through all that stuff. And I agree. I think what you're saying is that it makes some people get brainwashed by it, and it makes them want to be gay or whatever or accepted or whatever because they've been programmed.
Is this popular?
Yeah, it is, because what happens is because when you if you turn on a movie and there's a gay character, if you put on a TV show with a gay character, it's part of the whole programming, right?
It's sickening to me. It's just disgusting.
It is, without a doubt. I mean, look at
you can't watch anything now without seeing dudes making out or chicks making out.
Yeah, it's right, exactly. So and at that age there's like all that pressure to fit in, and so if you think
and now the exposure that's happening now, God, Mike, it's disgusting.
It is. It's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, the thing
it's confusing,
right?
For kids.
The thing I'm finding most concerning about it is like, say you ask a kid what do they want to be, when they grow up, they'll say like astronaut, football player,
a homosexual. Poor kids. And
it will change.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
They don't know.
You grow out of wanting to be a cowboy or an Indian.
Decision.
Right.
Yeah, they think it's okay to give people life-altering drugs that will destroy their bone density.
Yeah.
And operations where it's like, if you look at the stats for suicide, with people that have transitioned,
yeah,
it is higher than depression.
Wow.
I've heard that too. I've heard that too, Therian. Yep.
The fact that there's no minimum age put in place, with alcohol, drugs, or anything like that.
Yeah. With gender, with the gender, yeah.
Thing.
I've heard people come on and say that the kid at 2.5 years old knew that they were,
right. So this is what I'm thinking, because this is such a new part that they're shoving down the throats.
New agenda.
I'm interested in to see what happens 5-10 years down the road when some of these kids come out of it and I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I'm not gay. I didn't know why I was dressing up in a dress and wearing makeup. Mm-hmm. I'm not gay. Because they finally hit puberty and they realize
you get influenced by that shit.
I don't want that. I don't want to be part of that. I want a chick. I want to get married and have babies. I'm not into dudes. I didn't know what that meant. That
pretty soon the norm was gonna be all that gender confusing shit. They're wanting to screw it. God's purpose for mankind was to be fruitful and multiply. And you can't very well be fruitful and multiply if you got women bumping pocketbooks.
If
Right.
they had brought out a law, before all this happened, saying right, if you want to have a sex change and go through that, you're not allowed till you reach 25 or something.
Right.
That would be perfectly reasonable, because then it gives them a chance to grow up, go through puberty, learn who they are, then make the decision.
Yeah.
But when they're a kid, it's those operations, they're not going to be able to fix them after it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
If a man goes through and becomes a woman, they can't go back, because after they try going back, they won't be able to
Their
produce sperm.
sexual parts have been mutilated.
Yeah, so they won't be able to reproduce.
Yep. Yep.
Have you seen that? Where there's a movement that they say that we're not going to call our child a boy or a girl,
Right.
until they're
Fluid gender, honey. It's called fluid gender.
4 years old, right? And then at the age of 4, we'll allow our child to decide what they want to be called. Let me ask everybody here in the chat room and on the panel, do you remember anything at the age 4?
Yeah.
Actually, I remember some stuff at 4.
I remember stuff before 4.
I remember one thing at age 4.
What's
right?
that?
I can, but very
I started kindergarten at age 4. So I remember.
I
I
was 5.
certainly don't remember if I was a male, a female, like males or females, or anything associated with that.
I didn't see skin color. I didn't see gender, any of that until I was
Gender difference at age 4. You know what? You're
at age 14. I mean, I still didn't look at somebody at school and say, "Oh, well, they're Hispanic." I always wondered why they had a tan, but I didn't know that they were Hispanic. I just didn't know.
Right.
I didn't see any difference. We were all just people.
At the age 4, you guys. So obviously, you guys, all of us remember something at age 4, but I don't think we remember like we remember last year, right? Or
no homos as toddlers, Colin said.
or senior year or something like that, or whatever. But when we have puberty or whatever. But can you imagine at age 4, your mom and dad coming to you and asking you, "Hey, Mike, are you a boy or a girl?"
Right.
I would have known the difference though. Like I have to have an instinct about that sort of thing. Because I remember when I was that young, this has been me my whole life. Actually, it's like they'll be like when a crowd's going one way, then sometimes I'll just go the other way. I don't base my decisions based on that. Like I lived across the street from my elementary school, and they were walking all the kids to cross the street to go in a different direction, and they're like, "Come on, Mike, we go this way." I didn't say anything. I didn't argue. I just took off when they weren't looking and went the way I was supposed to go. So
all right, well that leads right into what we were talking about. You wanted to stand out. So if everybody was like, "Well, I think I'm a boy because I have male parts. I think I'm a girl," you would have been like, "I'm going to stand out and I'm going to be different."
Yeah, I wouldn't have fallen for it because I have a long history of that with my family too. Like where I just if they're saying something that I'm good at, if someone's saying something that doesn't make sense, then if there could be 50 million people saying it, and I'll be like, "Nah, I don't think so. I'm just going to do it my way anyway."
Now
right?
You can see where these young kids that don't even understand what the question is that they're asking, right? I know I've said this many times, but I'll reiterate it. My son in high school, his sophomore year, calls me up and he was like, "Dad, did you know that there's I don't know what it was 36 or something like that different genders?" That blew me away. I was thinking maybe he'd go with I don't know 4 or 5 at this time or whatever. It was and so he had to fill it out, sophomore in high school, right? And he goes, "Yeah, I couldn't put I associate as a boy or a male.
I don't understand the other box.
So
Right.
he had to put
Canine,
if he did
feline.
that, he had to say I am a male or a boy that associates as, and he had to pick something else off the list. He had to.
Oh,
right?
wow.
That you couldn't just do that. And so he read down the list, and it got down all the way to the bottom to other. So
I identify. I associate myself. I identify myself with a lightning bolt. You know, so.
Right.
he marked.
Stupid.
I'm a male that associates myself as. And he went down to other, and then he wrote in male.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't. There's nothing on the list. I'm not. I don't associate with all these other things
Shit.
that you're trying to plug in my head that I need to pick.
I prefer not to answer because I'm so confused. God.
Oh, I've got it. Wait,
Right.
I've got it. I'm going to identify it as a bag of weed because it's still legal in the UK. So then that way the police will be forced to take me to the evidence locker and lock me in with all the other bags of weed.
Wow.
Just think about all the kids that don't have parents that teach their kids to be awake, right? That read that, and all of a sudden it's almost like propaganda.
What is it? Giggles.
I need to associate as well. You know, if it was me at that time, at that age, I would associate myself as like a metrosexual, and therefore would that put me into a bisexual?
Well, that's not any kind of gay implication there, just because you like to keep up with your appearance.
But it's not like a manly man thing, right?
Well, there's nothing wrong with getting pedicures and manicures.
To put you into like categories to where you question yourself, right?
I want to identify as a rich guy, right?
For sure. Not a rich guy, but a rich guy's old lady.
Right? And I was like, take off the Lamborghini. What are you doing? You can't arrest me. I identify as the guy that owns this car. So, right?
Well, let's look at this. How does the school system think they can get away with bringing up sexual orientation with our children without our permission?
Well, because when our children are born and we sign those birth certificates, we ward them to the government, and they are no longer our children, so they can do what the hell they please.
Well, like I was saying, show me where we send our children to school to find out their sexuality preference. Where's that at?
Well, I know.
I'll
They
tell
feel
you
they
a
have the
funny
right
one.
to do what they please.
I'll tell you a funny one. What's happened over here in Birmingham? They tried this. You know, this LGBTQ whatever, like education,
yada.
Right?
and it caused all the Muslims to start rioting
Really?
outside the schools. Yeah, because they, like in their like religion, homosexuality is like a sin.
That's
Right.
funny, man. That's hilarious.
So
When,
it's
like when you get two groups of program people where the programming clashes, that is hilarious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? Like liberals does that a lot, but I mean I know it's still it's part of that false dichotomy, but like where like so like if you're taught, yeah, I'm for women's rights, but I'm also for Sharia law. You know what I'm saying? Where you're kind of like supporting two things that which just simply don't go together. You know what I mean?
Right? Like if
Oh.
you are, like if you're for women's rights and you want to help out the poor and fix the welfare system, then you are a Democrat,
Hey, drama. Sent me a happy Easter, guys.
right?
Awesome.
Sorry.
But, I mean, it's beyond that. It goes down to like, if I drink Pepsi, I hate Coke products. If I drink Coke, I hate Pepsi. If I drive a Ford, I hate Chevys.
Well, I drink Mr. Pibb, so what do I hate?
Pepper.
You know, like
I like Dr. Pepper too.
I do too.
Simon pointed out earlier, and I'm sorry I didn't read it earlier, was the red and blue thing, which is absolutely true. Like with the Democrat and Republican, I was studying earlier, and you brought that up, the red and blue. It goes all the way, because they're the same.
That's the kill list and the save list.
With all your choices and where you shop,
Yeah.
and what you do, and I brought that up before.
So true.
Sam's Club, Walmart, or is it Target? Is it Petco, or is it?
Hey, you want to know how crappy they are here, Cowboy? The people at Walmart were complaining because they wanted a raise, right? So finally, the Walmart employees got their raise, but the Sam's Club store got shut down because of it. And now the door greeters are being completely phased out. We've always had door greeters.
Yeah.
So how many people actually know that Walmart and Costco, is it Walmart and Costco or Walmart?
No,
and
Sam's Club.
Walmart and Target.
Or you mean like our link companies like Sam's Club?
Yeah.
Or
The Sam's Club, Target, and Walmart are all the same owner.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Target too.
Yeah, you're right, Sam's Club, because Costco affiliates with the union side.
Mhm.
Sam's Club doesn't. So
Yeah, and then the owner of Walmart was Sam something.
Sam Walton.
Yeah, yeah, right.
right, Walmart martial law, the guy that was in charge of the FEMA camps here in America
Democrats, demon rats.
in World War II. And so how ironic is that, right?
Yeah, right.
So,
So true.
we talk about like Walmart being concentration camp, martial law and all that.
Well, if you'll notice, every Walmart's built right by train tracks. I wonder why.
Like train tracks and all this and all this evidence and all this crap, and people would call us, you're crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy,
Yeah.
you're nuts. And then you point
Crazy
out,
like
well,
a fox.
did you know the owner actually, of all people, the founder, was actually the guy that did all the concentration camps for the Germans and the Japanese during World War II here.
Oh,
in
interesting.
America.
Whoop, whoop.
I didn't know that.
Coincidence.
Stick with us, kid.
Hey.
You'll learn something.
I know. I'm already learning. But hey, so if you guys are, what you're saying is that Sam Walton was the same guy who designed concentration camps.
He was the in charge in the military that created the concentration camp. Well, we can't call them concentration camps because it was on for Americans. The detention centers
Mhm.
for all Japanese and Germans that lived in
Internment
America
camps.
that they felt could be maybe tied to Germans or Japanese.
Yeah, they did the Japanese people really shitty.
You should, but at least they had the word camp. Doesn't camp sound like fun? It makes it sound like it's a fun place to
It's
go.
a fun
right?
place to go. That's
Right.
what Hillary Clinton said, remember?
Yeah,
Right.
back.
You know, that's like what I need. I need to get my own camp. I'm gonna have camp Kako Way.
Kakawate. Camp Kakawate. Akuna Matata Kakawate.
What do they call FEMA areas? They don't call them FEMA detention centers. They call them FEMA camps.
They call him the Kakawate.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's too much fun to say that, you know. Kakawate.
And you know what else I find hilarious is when we told everybody, like, your local Walmart is going to be your local FEMA camps, and we had all the proof of it, and everybody called us crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
What happened in Texas and in Florida when they have devastation? What happened?
Walmart has no walls. All they got to do is take them racks out of there and boom, you're ready to go.
What did they do? They put people on local transportation buses, and where did they take them? They didn't take them to a church. They didn't take them to a school.
Nope.
They took them to Walmart.
And also, what about when all the disasters happen, people getting put on FEMA barges and disappearing?
Right?
From Houston? Yeah.
I know about
Oh, that's right.
FEMA.
They just vanished. Huh?
About like how people all was crazy that calling Walmart and teaming together with the founder and FEMA camps, and you're crazy. So I'm thinking, okay, so you took them to Walmart instead of to like a local church or a gymnasium where you could put cots out. What were they like, sleeping on sleeping bags on the floor in aisle 4 in the cookie aisle? Why would you take them to Walmart? Why? I mean, wouldn't there be better places to take them? I don't know.
I don't know.
Right.
That's just crazy.
Looks like a job for Cacahuate.
Right. The big cacahuate.
A big Cacahuate.
You know that I had a Mr. Peanut. I had a metal Mr. Peanut.
Right.
That my mother got me when I was 3 years old, and it burned up in my fire.
Aw.
Yeah, he was about 24 inches tall.
24 inches tall.
Mhm.
Yeah, you need a new one, right?
Yeah, I got it when I was 3 years old.
Well, Mr.
Yeah.
Peanut's pretty awesome.
He might have been 12 inches tall. I might be exaggerating.
12 inches, 24 inches.
Yeah, I might be exaggerating.
So are you saying you're exaggerating about the size of the nut? Is that what you're saying?
I might be.
Might be.
That is one.
Yeah, I might like a bigger nut. Great taste, less filling. Shoot.
So you like the honey nut, right? Like
Yes.
like
Yes.
right.
Yes, I do. Why, yes. Yes, I do.
Salty and sweet at the same time.
I buy honey roasted peanut butter too.
Oh, I got banana peanut butter. Have you ever had that?
Yes.
Oh my god,
It's
so
pretty good.
It
It's
is,
pretty good.
right?
Honey roasted peanut butter, you can eat it right out of the jar, man.
Oh,
It's
man.
so sweet.
Right?
It's good. That's why I'm fat.
Jeez, you're not fat.
I eat a lot of nuts. Remember what I said? Remember what I said about almond milk? They call it almond milk because you can't say nut juice with a straight face.
Right? So what you're saying is you like sweet nut butter, basically. What you're saying.
I like sweets, period. I'm addicted to
Right.
sugar.
Have you ever had,
Excuse me.
Have you ever had like not like peanut butter like in the jar, but like actual like butter that's peanut, like not the peanut butter, but it's like butter. You know what I mean?
Right?
I eat butter every day.
I don't know how to explain it. It's like a different.
It's nut butter.
Nut butter,
Right.
right?
Sorry about that. I couldn't do that with a straight
I
face.
can make a fresh batch right now for you guys. Give me a minute.
Nut butter. I make homemade butter. I make homemade butter.
Nut
Out
butter.
of cream.
Yeah.
Why?
nut
What a
butter.
coincidence. I make homemade nut butter myself.
No, I'm talking about real butter.
What do you
Butter,
make
butter.
honey?
Not nut butter. Butter. Betty bought a bit of
I
butter.
just put that together. They call it. I just put that together. I never even thought about
What's
it.
the matter,
How
kid?
sick are they? It's nut butter. That's sick. You know, suckers are sick.
What's the matter?
I'll
What's the
make
matter,
weed butter.
giggles?
And
A weed bar, right? For 420, of course. It's a perfect time for that. Well, what now?
weed butter on toast is one of the greatest treats you can have in life.
You're from the UK. Do you have beans and toast for breakfast?
Not really.
My dad used to eat that a lot.
Beans?
Pork and beans on toast. Have you ever heard of that? That's a staple in the
I can
UK.
go. I can see that.
Yeah, UK traditional like breakfast, like fry up. There's like hash browns, potato cakes, beans on toast,
I make potato cakes. They're the bomb.
fried eggs.
Yeah.
Some
Well,
people
you
like to have black pudding as well, but I avoid that because it's just like gross.
What's piggy pudding? What's piggy pudding, Therian?
Black pudding, it's made out of like pig blood and
Yeah.
oats.
Okay.
They call it
Ugh.
dish, but I call it a national disaster.
That sounds gross.
right?
It is.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Ugh.
Sure.
It's if you're in England and you get a fry up and it's like you see little black like round discs on your plate.
Mhm.
That's what they are.
Oh, grody.
What do you like to eat over there, Syria? What do you usually eat?
Selection of things, mainly meat.
Yeah, I'm a big meat eater too.
I
I'm
know,
an
me too.
Aries.
Like I'm scared.
Roast beef, chicken,
Chicken, yeah. That's why I like
I like
chicken.
chicken.
I make a lot of chicken.
So let me ask you something. This is something like that's a stereotype for us here in America for you guys. Do you boil it?
Boy, what?
Nope.
Your chicken?
No, probably like bacon or something.
I milk mine.
Well, I'm asking for you.
Choking.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I choke mine.
Wait, I'm
How are
asking
you gonna
for
cook that
you.
chicken?
I was just checking to see if you're listening.
Do you boil it?
Not really. The only time people boil chicken in UK normally is when we're like making chicken soup.
That's what I was saying too, like soup.
Yeah.
Barbecue.
Yeah, but the rest of the
Oh,
time
yeah.
it's either fried, grilled.
hmm I cook everything in butter.
Like real butter. Oh yeah, it's delicious.
Yeah. I don't do grease because you get high cholesterol when you get old if you use a lot of grease. Use butter, it's better for you.
I'm just like
When I'm cooking, I use either lard, beef dripping,
Yeah.
or butter.
See? Yeah, I don't
But
do
it's got to
lard.
be salted.
in
Sesame
my
salt.
mind, in my mind, I just I'm trying to picture like England, and there's somebody out in the back barbecuing, and I just can't see it.
Barbecue in England. Right?
Does
It
it, you know
doesn't mean
what I
Congress,
mean?
doesn't it?
And I don't mean it in a negative way. It's just like something that, like, I guess it's because it's not something that you ever see on TV shows or movies.
I've seen pictures of the queen, which they said were fake and staged, of her barbecuing with her kids and her
She's
husband.
like out tailgating, right?
Yeah, yeah.
For a soccer match, tailgating.
Well, they said that Prince Charles said it was staged to make her more appealing to the public. But I've seen pictures of her barbecuing with her family.
Hey, Therion, do you guys barbecue out there a lot in UK?
Yeah,
Right on.
yeah, in summer.
Oh, summer. Okay, cool. Right. I didn't know you guys did that because it's just for some reason I got this like stereotypical image in my mind of people in England, right? And it's never like for me something about barbecuing just seems like an American thing, but I just maybe mean like geographic.
I'm in Texas. We barbecue all year
Right.
round. We're like
Oh
the
my God.
mailman. Rain, snow, sleet, or hell. We're barbecuing.
The difference is like, between like a British barbecue and American is mainly like the side dishes you'd have.
Okay.
What do you eat?
Over here, it's like British barbecue. It's normally like burgers, sausages, ribs.
Right on.
The
what
side
we
stuff,
eat.
it'll be like a bowl of salad, a bowl of like chips, not like the American way of chips, but like think French fries but bigger.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Yeah, and we do potato salad, pork and beans, pinto beans. What else, guys?
Corn on the cob.
Yeah.
Um,
Roasted corn, yum.
or like
Elote. They're elotes.
elote.
There you go. Cacahuate and some elote.
I can't. I'm totally gonna never stop saying that now. What?
Well, you're talking about yourself, buddy.
Right?
It's like normally for me, like, when I do a barbecue,
Uh-huh.
like me and my mates will usually like go out somewhere, like on a day trip, make a campfire, get a few portable barbecues, those disposable ones.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
yeah, and we'll sit around the campfire. We'll have,
What's a disposable one? Hey, wait.
The like foil trays with like the netting, on top. Where you just light them and then bin them afterwards.
Yeah, okay. We don't do that here, but yeah. Like the Jiffy popcorn, y'all.
Okay.
In the aluminum pan.
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
Them with like
Yeah.
with like burgers
You're
and stuff
checking.
cooking on, and then like with the campfire, like we'll take like a couple of pans and like have other stuff, cooking on the campfire itself.
Mm-hmm. I'm listening.
And I just I can still see us being there right now. I wish we all kick it together. We need to go on a truth or field trip somewhere. Right?
For real.
Like Cowboy was talking about like renting an RV and we'll just like trip around the US. Like
I've got an old RV, 1992, that I lived in when my house burned down.
well then we'll leave in your RV then.
It's got 3 beds.
Right?
Air conditioning, heat, a stove, refrigerator, microwave.
Air conditioning is always a good thing.
Oh yeah. Woo. I felt that all the way over here. Woo.
Yeah, I'm surprised
that's the
that
ball
like
game.
with everybody in the
Very young.
community, that, like
Excuse me.
more people haven't like met up. Like for instance,
I know.
you're right. Like
Look, I live 40 minutes. I live 40 minutes away from Dan, and
Yeah,
I'm
how
only
did
10
you
minutes.
not,
I'm
like,
only 10
work?
minutes away from the Great
Right.
Wall and Rock Wall that the Giants built. You
Wow.
know, and he don't want to meet up with me and go like do a thing on it. You know,
you've
people in
asked
chat,
him?
yeah, in the room even asked him to do it, but he don't want to meet me, so F him.
Aw.
That's okay. He was ugly to me anyway. Whoops. Sorry. Told on him. I told on him.
If I can ever get cash together, I'm gonna try and make it stateside and do like a tour. You know, and like video the whole thing.
Right on. Sounds like fun.
What's he doing?
Have you ever been in the States before, Thurion?
Yeah.
Cool.
Where'd you go?
Went Venice Beach, California.
Oh,
Good
okay.
place to go.
That's pretty close to where
But
I'm at.
that was like for work.
Oh.
Oh,
Because I was
wah,
getting
wah.
like sports and stuff. So it was fun.
What did you do? What kind of work?
I was literally going over to buy, skateboards,
Oh, cool.
skateboarding stuff.
Oh,
to
right
bring
on.
back over. Okay.
Oh, cool. Like building like a ramp or something, or
No,
you're like,
like getting stock, for shops.
oh,
Cool.
okay. Oh, right.
So, like sent over to inspect the stuff, try it out.
Oh, you're a skater?
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
Cool.
That is
I
cool.
prefer
Yeah, I gotta send you.
the skateboard.
Therium, I'm gonna send you on Facebook some of my oldest son's skateboarding tricks he does. That he's videotaped.
Cool.
Yeah.
I've got a
Right on.
talent. I can sling nunchucks like a ninja.
That's what it is.
Honestly.
I would
I'm
just beat the
serious.
crap out of myself if I ever tried to use those things.
No, I can. I'm really good.
can
I'm
as
really
well.
fast. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
And my stepbrothers taught me when I was like 12 years old.
That's cool.
It's fun.
I wish I knew how to do that. It was like, can you do it like you swing behind your back and all those tricks?
Yeah, I can do them between my legs, cross my neck. I can do them on my hands, on my knees. One-handed, two-handed. I'm pretty good.
I bet. But you're awesome. At it.
Still haven't lost it.
That's cool.
I could see you doing it. And do you like when you do it, you're like,
What? I'm good. I'll drop them. I'm real good at it. Honestly.
Right. I believe you. I totally believe you.
Yep.
That'd be cool to a skateboarding ninja, right?
Skateboarding nunchuck girl.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Skateboards in traffic and whacking people.
Hassan chop.
Make you get away.
While drinking tequila. Tequila ninja skateboard girl.
You're all stealthy. You like silently skateboard up to someone in a bar. Yo, what's
While
happening?
singing do 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 do.
Right.
Pee Wee Herman.
that term for
Pee Wee Herman dancing on the bar. Remember that? Do 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 do. Okay. You know what? I gotta shut up and go.
chuka.
Yeah.
What is the term? Oh man, I already forgot. What is it called? How do you say it?
Boom shakalaka laka, boom shakalaka laka. Bounce chicka bout now. I don't know.
I know now.
Cacahuate.
Cacahuate? Oh,
Cacahuate.
cacahuate?
Kakalake.
Cacahuate.
Cacahuate.
Kakalake.
Yes. The
Cacalatte.
big cacahuate. Senor cacahuate.
I do not want to try the caca latte. Thank you.
Senor cacahuate.
Yeah. Senor cacahuate.
No, I don't want a caca latte either.
I know, right?
We'll save that for the Illuminati.
Right. they can
Coca
have-
latte, isn't that like what that soy latte is made of?
You're right.
Soil. It will be soil latte.
Soy latte. The caca latte. Oh, you do not want to try that. No.
No.
Okay, now I already forgot. What does it mean?
Cacahuate means peanut.
Right. But it sounds
Oh.
Hawaiian, doesn't it? Cacahuate. Cacahuate. right? And they're like, right? And they're like carrying a peanut up to the volcano.
King Kahuna Kakawate.
Oh, Kakawate, Matata.
Aloha Kakawate. How? How now, Brown Kakawate? Oh man, now I'm getting silly. Just
Why do I get the
ridiculous.
feeling that there's going to be one of them like synchronicities soon?
Right?
It's just going to be like a week from now. We're going to see coca-lattes. Now build that Starbucks with every
No,
toy.
no, Hey, go to Starbucks and you know how they ask you what your name is so they can put on your cup? It's Senor Kakawate. What's your name, sir? Ramalama Ding Dong.
Damn it. I'm banned from my local Starbucks, so I won't be able to do that.
I haven't been to Starbucks in 5 years. I quit going there because they're the devil.
All right, you guys, I'm out of here. I'm bailing. So, later, skater.
Aw.
Aw.
All right,
Aw.
Bye, guys.
Walkie.
Right.
You will be missed. Very missed. I saw.
I'm still Kakawake.
Well, he bailed out fast. He must be in trouble.
Right, yeah. It's like he's like, hey, everybody, yeah, the Kakawake. Oh, hang on. Gotta go. Bye.
Skeet, skeet. Hey now. Daylight come on, me wanna go home.
Right? Yeah, come on now. We're old enough to know there's something going on right there.
Dale, Mr. Dale. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go too because it's 5:30 in the morning, man. I gotta go to bed before the sun comes up, or I won't sleep again.
Oh, well, you don't sleep. So.
Oh
It's
man, I'll be
11:35 here.
feeling rough, like I was rode hard and put up wet. All right, it was fun and very educational. I really enjoyed the talk. Giggles, get down. My cat just wants to climb all over me. What do you want? What do you want? Go find your mama. All right, guys. I'm gone. Maybe I'll catch you later on the flip flop.
Yeah. Tomorrow we're gonna do Easter video stream around 4 Pacific, 7.
Okay.
So.
All righty then. I will catch you then. I'll get my notification, I'm sure. Thanks for having
All right.
me.
You're
Woohoo.
welcome.
Darian, it was awesome. Cowboy,
Yeah.
love you.
Good talking
night.
to you.
Uh-huh.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I'm gonna shut it down. I'm getting tired. We'll be going 2 hours, and I'll hit you up tomorrow, Therium. You have a great day, or it'll be probably tomorrow night your time. So,
Yeah, my plan for today now is to try and like get some sleep and pass out.
there you go. All right, brother. Thanks for joining, and everybody in the chat room. Thank you, and we will see you in a few hours as usual, because nobody sleeps. All right, love y'all.
Bye, everyone.